Two Gamer Dads podcast, episode 20. Oh my gosh, Marv, we are on episode 20. Who would have thought? Although I know, guys, it has been a very long. How long has it been? A month
2 months.
since we did our last.
2 months.
Has it? No, it definitely has
special
been 2 months.
guest.
Oh, who's a special guest?
Oh,
Hi, Mare.
It's
Oh my gosh, it's been so long
Say
since I
hello.
see you. You're so big already.
Say hello.
Okay,
hello.
just for the podcast listeners, Meredith, Marv's daughter, just showed up. Oh my gosh, she's so cute. She's just
Say bye.
waving.
Say bye-bye.
Bye.
bye.
So cute. She's not gonna stay.
No. Good night.
Good night. Farewell. Yeah. So it's been a while since we did our Two Gamer Dads podcast, and for episode 20, we wanted to do something a bit special. And for that, we've invited some ex guest sounds weird. Our previous guests who showed up before, and dads with a lot of experience. So I'd like to welcome Chris and Lam. Hi guys, welcome back.
Hi, good to be back.
Anyway, it's good to see you guys. Today we have a very packed episode with a ton of stuff. So we just want to get into it soon. But before that, how are you guys doing? Just a brief.
Chris, you want to go first?
Not much. Work is busy. That's about it.
Okay. So today I get to wear formal attire because I get to meet customers. And I struggle the whole day because I have to go for a lunch appointment in my very, very tight pants. So that's my day.
As in, do the pants become too tight, or has it always been tight?
I would like to say it's because of the dryer. We start to use dryer, but
yeah, that's always the reason I give as well.
Obviously, the reason.
Every time I can't fit into my shirts, I tell Maren, what do you put in the fabric softener? Why is it so tight now? And also, when you wear formal attire in Singapore, isn't it super hot?
Oh, okay. So the fabric that I wear for the shirt, I purposely choose like those that are quite breathable. So I'm very particular about my formal attire because I have to wear.
Yeah. So no off-the-shelf stuff lah. No G2K.
I used to go Thailand and make. So Thailand is
Yeah. Used to because last time cause no corona lah. Now with COVID.
No COVID. Yeah. So usually
not technically can go back lah if you wanted to. Yeah.
I plan to lose weight. So that is not my plan to do new shirts.
Okay, I'd like to Marv and Chris goes to CrossFit once a week at least, right? Once a week?
Yeah, I think Chris has been going more than me though.
Yeah. So you can join them when they go as well.
Lie.
No, with things, but not gonna happen. How far have you been?
Sorry, is it me?
Yeah, you.
I mean, the only thing I can say is, look at this.
I asked him how his life was, and he showed me his brand new Steam Deck.
Yeah, so for the listeners, just got my Steam Deck. I think I waited. I counted 350 days from the time we ordered. So we ordered live on stream. If you remember, I think Joe ordered for me. And it finally arrived today. So
okay. First, I know this is super. You haven't played a single game on it yet, right?
No, I literally just started charging, formatted the card, installed games, and then came on.
Start the podcast. Okay, so we're going to do a proper first impressions of it next podcast where we talk about that as well as the game that we're playing. But just like super early, like when you have it in your hands, give us like a rating of how it feels in your hands compared to, like, for example, the Switch.
The first thing that came to my mind, obviously, when I picked it up was that it's huge. It's super big. Look at it. Yeah. I think if you compare it next to the Switch is like 75%. And it's so much thicker. But ergonomically, right, it's actually very good. Can you see the grips on the side?
Yeah.
I think the grips are really good.
Yeah.
Plus there are extra buttons here. And although, like, on first look, right, the buttons look like very far at the corner.
Yeah, but it actually feels okay, right?
But they're actually really, like, well placed.
It fits.
Yeah. My first impression when I first saw it is like, the buttons placement are a bit weird, yeah. But then you realize that when as you're holding it and you're using it, right, it's actually pretty well designed. So I'll give my thoughts on it, like maybe the next podcast.
Yeah. I heard. Yeah, so wait.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, I just heard that the Steam Deck is like the best console for most people because it is as accessible as you want it to be. So like for the noob who doesn't noob, like in the sense that if you don't want to tinker with your settings, you just want to install games and play it, it's like easy to do. But if you want to like tinker everything, even adjusting like the TDP of your graphics card, how much you're pulling out of your how much wattage you're pulling, you can adjust that as well.
Yep.
So
Yep.
I don't know how much you're going to tinker with it, but you can give us your reviews.
Super customizable. That's the good thing. But I'll probably just play it as it is lah. I won't.
Play as it is first.
Yeah, I don't think I will like emulate stuff for now. I'll just play Steam OS compatible stuff.
I mean, it's not as if you don't have enough games on your Steam backlog to play.
I know, right?
To be honest.
I know, right?
So
there's this meme. There's this meme on the Steam Deck Reddit subreddit that it says like something like, "I can't wait for my Steam Deck to come to play all my backlog of games." Then the next frame is, "If you wanted to play your backlog of games, you would have played it on your PC." And I'm like, shit.
No, I thought the meme was that he's buying games on his Steam Deck to put on his backlog. All right, but anyway, so next episode we'll do a kind of like a full review on the Steam Deck. Now the good news is that Japan, Korea, Taiwan, and Hong Kong, I think, can buy this, can reserve the Steam Deck now.
Yeah.
So Singapore, Oceania, Southeast Asia, you guys still have to wait till the next. I'm actually quite curious why they put Japan under this like area, because I don't think the Japanese market is that big, right?
It's not about the area. It's about the distributor. They're going through one distributor that like services these areas. Yeah.
I think my number is still quite high. I think I bought it like I reserved it maybe 8 hours before after the announcement, and I'm like 35,000 on the list or something like that.
Wow. Okay.
So it's still pretty high demand. I mean, it's not just Japan. It probably includes Korea and Taiwan.
Do you think the demand is high or the supply is low? I think
demand is high as well.
Both. I think it's both. But they have been ramping up supply. Like people who reserved back in March have received their order. So I reserved back in September last year. So they've been ramping up for sure. Yeah.
So, okay. Cool. Thanks for giving updates. Now we're going to get into the meat and potatoes of it.
Did you talk about Chris?
Sorry, go ahead. Sorry,
what? Do you ask Chris?
Yeah, I did ask Chris.
Oh, you did?
He said nothing much. So, did you want to add anything more, Chris?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I don't need to share about mine. Anyway, next we're going to the topic because I'm excited about this topic, and because I have been in Japan for how long? Almost 5 months, closing on to 4+ months. One thing I really miss, it's my family, but also the food in Singapore.
Nice save.
one more nice save. Right? I was gonna say go straight to food, but my family and friends are important. But then after that, it's Singaporean food. So I thought that recently there's this YouTube channel called Watcher, where they part of their shtick is that they rank, they do a listing of topics, asinine topics usually, that people have very strong opinions about. And if there's anything I know is that Singaporeans are very protective of their food and their food choices. So what I'm going to do is we're going to pick, before this podcast, we ask everybody to choose their top 5 Singaporean foods and to rank them accordingly. So this is one where ranking does matter. Number 1 and number 5 makes a difference. Okay? And the definition of what the best means is up to them. So at the start, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to ask each and every one of you what your definition, how did you guys choose the list? What's your thought process when you kind of went into this list? So I'll start first so you guys can have an example. So for me, I had 2 basic criteria. Firstly, it has to be a food that I really love. So I have to like it. No matter how iconic the Singaporean dish is, if I don't like it, it's not on my list. And secondly, it has to be something which I would bring someone who doesn't know anything about Singaporean cuisine to show them what Singapore cuisine is. So it has to fulfill these 2 criteria. Okay? So that's my criteria. Let's go the other way. So let's start with Marv and then Lam and Chris.
I think mine is quite similar also. Like, it'll be something that I would bring people to eat in Singapore, and then for me, right, it has to be okay, it can't be. Oh, I think this is controversial though. If I say it can't be adapted from another culture, then everybody will be like, but Singapore food is all taken from other
There
cultures.
is no unique Singaporean food, bro.
Yeah. I guess okay, to me it's just it has a Singaporean feel to me because I grew up eating it.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. So you grew up eating it, basically.
Yeah.
It's not like something new in the
past. It can't be something
5
that
years.
I ate like overseas and then I came back here and then like, hey, this
Yeah,
one
yeah,
is.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay, so we'll keep that in mind when we have. Okay. Lam, your turn.
For me, it deals with the feeling. So the feeling of eating it. Feeling. Yeah.
Feeling.
And then there is also food that I chose for certain occasion. So later I'll go through the lists, then I'll show you what I really mean. So it's like there's different food for different seasons, you know?
Wow, I can sense controversy already.
Yeah. Feeling and season, yeah.
Because when you say feeling is very it's true. But it's very variable, right? It depends on personal choice. But it's your list, so no bashing. We'll judge everybody's list silently in our hearts. Or not so silently.
Yeah. Don't mind.
Okay, Chris?
I think my criteria is fairly simple as well. It's basic stuff that I like to eat.
Yeah.
I think I also tried to rank them in relation to how easily they can be found outside of Singapore.
Oh, okay.
And also,
so wait. Does it mean that number one is the hardest to find outside Singapore or easiest to find?
hardest to find.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Then and I think I tried as far as possible to like keep it within foods that are sort of originated from the area, like Singapore, Malaysia, that kind of style, because there's so much crossover. So I think I tried to limit it to that region as much as possible, because as you said, it's very hard to think of a food that's purely Singaporean, or you can confirm say it's originated from Singapore. There are very few. So so that's what I tried to do.
Okay. Cool. Okay, in the process of forming this list, right, I realized that it's very hard. I think I don't know about you guys, but for me, forming the first maybe 3 was quite easy. But then when I started thinking about my 4 or 5, it was like, instead of 4 or 5, I had like 20 choices to choose from. So before we go into your 1 to 5s, right, do you guys want to give an honorable mention to any of the things that basically didn't make your list before we start?
I think go last.
All right.
I think honorable mention should go last.
You think you should go last?
I think so.
Because I thought in my mind, you prep the honorable mention, then
because
everybody's like,
mention will be
didn't
like
go into your list.
Right.
Yeah, so we start with 6 first, right? In a sense, we start with 6. That's your honorable mention.
Really, yeah.
Yeah, so then it's kind of like when I hear honorable mention, I'm like, wait a second. You mean honorable mention didn't get into your list?
True. Yeah, that would be interesting.
Okay, so I'll start first, and I'll start with, this will be quite controversial. My honorable mention is roti prata.
What? What's wrong with you? Just kidding.
Yeah, so there's the thing about roti prata. I mean, I love roti prata. I think roti prata, to me, is the best breakfast food, Singaporean food in Singapore. To me. I see Lam's starting to crunch up already.
Disagree.
What happened to Kaya? Do you have a breakfast food on your list?
Yes, I do.
Okay, so don't talk about it. But okay, so in my opinion, prata is the best breakfast food in Singapore, and I wanted to put it on, but it just couldn't compete with my other 5. Okay, so that's my roti prata, and there is Indian food here in Japan, by the way. But there's a lot of naan, but nothing to the level of what you get from roti prata. And Singapore, you can get different types of prata, right?
Yep, tissue prata.
Tissue prata, egg prata, prata bomb.
Slaughtered the entire prata race, is it? Is that what it is? That none of the prata is worthy of you, is it?
Yes. I just
Can you imagine if you name the specific type of prata? Wow.
Yeah, so later on, if let's say you came out with a dish, right, that there are many varieties, we might ask you to specify.
Okay.
Right. So for me, yes, I united all pratas. Kosong prata, egg prata, I need to be honest, I always order just kosong and egg. I'm a classic kind of guy. I don't really order the special kind of prata. Okay, so that's my honorable mention. Mark, you want to go ahead?
Sure. Wow, this is tough. It's hard for me to make one honorable mention because when I was doing my list, it's like I think I like 10 or more, then it slowly cut.
That's not called honorable mention. It's called mention.
As in, for my top 5
so.
But it's super hard, right?
It is.
I think I will go with bak kut teh.
Wow.
Wow.
Like, I love bak kut teh,
Okay.
but it's just barely out of my top 5.
Do you like the?
Yeah, no, this needs to be clarified. Are you talking about the Singaporean version or the Klang version?
I prefer the non-herbal version.
Yeah, the peppery one, right?
Yes.
I think the peppery one is more Singaporean than the herbal version.
Herbal version is more Malaysian, right?
Malaysia.
Yeah.
I mean, the herbal one is purely Malaysian, right? Like, I don't think you can even describe it in a way.
Yeah. No, man, we're Singaporeans. We co-opted it. It's ours now. What are you talking about? Okay, so bak kut teh. Okay, those of you who are listening, bak kut teh is a pork rib soup basically. That's in Singapore. It's usually peppery, and then in Malaysia it's usually a bit more herbal. And I would say Malaysia's bak kut teh has more variety because they put a lot of different like ingredients in it, right?
The herbs.
You can put
yeah.
They put like the fried bean curd and some other liao as well, which I think is more more variety than the Singapore, which is usually just white pepper and pork
ribs.
Yeah, good choice. Lam.
Okay, so on my list, I mean, there's a lot of other food lah, but when I look at food, if we want to be strictly about food, right? Then I can discount away fruits or I can discount away drinks, right? So
no, I think you can choose them if you want to. You just have to justify it.
Yeah, I don't want. So what I chose eventually on the honorable list is chicken rice. Yeah, I think it definitely, if it's not on my list, it definitely deserves an honorable mention. Correct or not?
See, I told you guys at the start this was going to be controversial.
Oh my god. How can chicken rice not be your top 5? Chicken rice is like the Singaporean
I know.
meal, right?
I think you're going to have a rude awakening by the end of this podcast. Wow, how everybody else has agreed. So is there a reason why you didn't put chicken rice on your list?
Because personally, I don't like to eat things with bone. So this is a personal choice. Don't judge me, okay? I'm a grown adult, yeah. I'm not a small children.
You can just order, chicken rice without the bone.
No, but you old man, you go to the store, and then you tell and you have to speak Chinese, right? Because a lot of the chicken rice people are like Chinese speaking.
Is that a strike against chicken rice that you have to order in Chinese?
So I have to tell the person, Uncle 不要骨. Then it's like, then the person, yeah.
So you know what I always do? I always order Cheong. I just order Cheong.
I don't know that.
I just find your reason for why you don't choose chicken rice so funny.
Okay, the only chicken rice that I'll accept is the fried, the lemon chicken rice. You know that one? It's not really chicken rice, but it's an abomination.
That is, if you chose that on your list, there's a problem. We all have a problem with this. Okay. All right. Chris, go ahead with your honorable mention.
I think my honorable mention is bakwa.
All right.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Iconic also, yeah. Very true.
Yeah. And is it honorable mention? Did it not on your make on list because you don't think it's uniquely enough Singaporean, or that it just doesn't beat the others in terms of like?
No, I think at this point, well, arguable. So of course, it's not really depends on what your definition of food is, right? Like, because bakwa is more of a snack than a meal or whatever it is, and also considering how popular it's become, it's actually quite easy to find bakwa in a lot of places.
Yeah,
you know what I mean, I'm pretty sure you could find bakwa in Tokyo if you wanted to. So. You know what I mean? Like, does it really deserve a place on the top 5? Not sure.
True. A lot of the major bakwa chains have.
Yeah, like making Cheong is everywhere, right?
Yeah.
But does it taste the same though? Have you guys tried?
Don't know, but I guess it's close enough.
Close enough.
Like, it can't be that different. Just that some places
translatable though.
That's all.
Yeah, because you just import the bakwan, right? And then you just have to grill it on the stove. Grill on the grill. Yeah. Okay, now we get into the meat and potatoes. So we'll go through the same order. I went myself, Marv, Lam, and Chris. Okay, so we'll go in this order and we'll review number 5 first.
Wait, hold on.
Okay.
Ian, what was your honorable mention?
My honorable mention was prata. Remember?
Okay, yeah. I'll write it down first. Sorry, I forgot to write it down.
You can, and if you wanna specify, you can do according to what Lam said, which I highlighted the prata race. You can just say all prata. So just all prata. Okay, so my number 5 is char kway teow.
Number 5, char kway teow.
My number 5 is char kway teow. Lam is like, why is that not your number 1? No, but anyway, I think this is in terms of like things that I look for. You know, when you go to hawker center, right? There are certain dishes that like. I mean, not everybody's gonna like everything in hawker center.
For sure.
Right. So there are certain things that you immediately go for, and you immediately deviate towards. Right. You immediately gravitate towards.
And describe what char kway teow is.
Okay, so char kway teow is stir fried. What is it? Rice noodles.
Rice noodles.
Rice noodles. Right. Stir fried rice noodles. Usually in Singapore, it's usually served with dark soya sauce. So it's stir fried with dark soya sauce. It's also usually accompanied with taugeh, which is bean sprouts, as well as some kind of fish cake, and usually cockles, which is a type of shellfish. And then it's usually a sweet, savory dish. But the special ingredient in char kway teow that I think makes it different from eating char kway teow in Malaysia is pork lard. So
you want to say lap chong?
Lap chong is also true because they don't serve that in, because it's pork lard. So the reason is that in Malaysia, because it's mostly the food has to be served halal most of the time.
True.
They don't serve the char kway teow, which is why whenever I eat char kway teow in Malaysia, I'm always like, why does this taste so different? But the Singapore char kway teow is just on a whole different level of like greasiness, because it's oiliness, and just the flavor profile is very different to me. And I've had a few. Yeah, so to me, I think char kway teow is something that.
You're saying that they serve less pork lard in Malaysia.
They don't.
No, I thought they don't serve pork lard at all.
I think you're eating at the wrong places, bro.
Wow.
Yeah, bro, I totally acknowledge that maybe I'm not eating at the right places in Malaysia. But that being said, do you think Malaysia char kway teow is better than Singapore char kway teow?
I think most street foods in Malaysia are better than street foods in Singapore.
Yeah, okay, true. I agree with that.
With one or two exceptions, which will be part of my list, but yeah.
Yeah. So regardless whether you think it's a Malaysian or Singapore, which is more superior, but char kway teow is my choice, and I think it's good because you can eat it for both lunch and. Although I think it's primarily a dinner dish. I don't know whether people really eat char. I don't know. It's debatable. But I prefer. No, char kway teow for breakfast a bit. I think usually you would gravitate towards cai tao kueh. Usually the char kway teow store is also serve cai tao kueh. Right? It's usually like they both serve oloa, cai tao kueh, and char kway teow, right? So yeah. And I prefer. Some char kway teows are a bit wet. That means they're a bit more oily and gravy. Some are a bit dry. I gravitate towards the wet kind. Okay, so that's my number 5.
But char kway teow very hard to find consistently good one, right? I mean, it's very easy to make char kway teow, but it's very difficult to make a very good char kway teow.
Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. So my top choices that I used, there used to be one at Marine Parade, which is very good. But the one I go for nowadays that I used to go to is that for consistency is the one at Old Airport Road. It's pretty good.
Will you go to a random char kway teow store?
No, usually not.
Okay, so you have preference over what type? It's not all char kway teow.
But I think this is true for almost every Singaporean food.
I beg to differ. We later go to my list.
Okay. So you're saying that there's a Singaporean food that you can go to almost any store, hawker center, and it'll be okay?
Yeah, it'll be good? There's a lot available lah.
Okay.
Easily available. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, but I think you're right. I think for char kway teow, the differentiation is quite large.
Yes.
That means the chances of finding between a good char kway teow store and a bad char kway store is like dang easy to find.
It will spoil your day if you eat a bad
It will spoil your day. Okay. Alright, let's move on before we have no time really. Marv, go ahead. You're number 5.
Okay. My number 5 is it's a drink. It's the only drink that I have.
Wow.
Top 5. But I think it's worthy of top 5, but it's on 5th lah.
Okay.
It's Tau Hui Chui.
Ooh.
So
Soya bean.
Tau Hui Chui is like my childhood drink.
Okay.
Because I was growing up, my mom never let me have soft drink.
Okay.
Like no Coke, no Sprite, none of that crap. And the only thing that she allowed me to have was soya bean milk, Tau Hui Chui lah. Yeah.
Okay.
So it holds like a special place in my heart.
So when you say Tau Hui Chui, right? Can I just ask? Can you specify? Do you drink it hot, cold? Do you drink it with sugar, without sugar?
Cold, with a bit of sugar.
Cold and with a bit of sugar.
Yeah.
So Tau Hui Chui is soya bean milk. For those who don't know.
Yep.
For the guests who don't know.
And it's a bit hawker center one, you know, where they scoop from that big.
Yeah, they scoop it from the ladle, right?
Yeah.
So when you say Tau Hui Chui, right, Chris furrowed his eyebrows, and I want to ask Chris, why did you furrow your eyebrow?
No, I just think Tau Hui Chui is not uniquely Singaporean enough.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, but that's not his criteria, lah. The small stuff he grew up with. Okay.
As you grow older,
bold.
as you grow older, will you ask for less sugar? Do you ask for less sugar now, or you still drink the
I'm
normal?
already drinking with less sugar.
But I guess when you were younger, you don't drink with less sugar, right?
Yep.
Yep. Yeah. So it's a natural thing that is it true for all drinks, or it's just Tau Hui Chui? What do you think?
I mean, I stopped drinking soft drinks recently.
Whoa.
The only thing I drink now is
your mother's dream has come true.
Coke Zero. Yeah, my mom drinks. So Coke Zero is the only drink that I have now when it comes to soft drinks, lah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I think it's just I don't think it's just a health thing. I think as you grow older, your your palate changes, right? So things that you don't just chase the sweet.
Yeah. Like I
Right.
didn't used to drink teh. Now I drink like teh-o.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think it's just okay. Cool. That. Honestly, I think that's a very bold choice as a drink. I don't know whether anybody else has a drink. Okay, so on that topic, before I give it to Mark, do any of you have drinks on your list? By the way, Chris and
No.
and
Not
Lam.
me.
So
Not me.
So my wife chose, when I asked her this question, she put a drink in her. And would you guys want to guess what drink it is?
Milo
Oh, is it?
dinosaur.
Yes, Chris, you got it right. It's freaking Milo Dinosaur.
Milo Dinosaur. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. I don't know.
Okay,
I mean,
let me see that.
is that uniquely Singaporean though for you? You think? Malaysia has it though.
I think it's more uniquely Singaporean than Tau Hui Chui lah. Because it's one of those things like, did it originate in Malaysia or Singapore? It's one of the other. So I think it's close enough.
Okay. Yeah. So okay. Anyway, sorry. Lam, number 5.
Ya Kun toast.
Oh, Yakun, so specific.
Has to be Ya Kun, is it?
Doesn't have to be lah, but I mean that genre of
Kaya toast lah.
Wait, can you specify what type of toast?
I like it can be okay, for me it really depends on whether do I want sweet or savory at the spot. So it can be either the Kaya's type or the peanut butter type. For me it's like both lah.
Okay. And okay, so this you don't know, Kaya is a coconut jam basically. And then usually in Singapore it's also served between slabs of butter. So in your toast it's not butter spread, it's a butter slab. Right? Correct, right? So you when you say Kaya toast, you mean the toasted kind, right? Not the steamed kind, right?
Yes, confirm is. I mean, it's fine if we go to a coffee shop, right? Because, like I say, right, like when I asked you about your char kway teow, right?
Yeah.
There is a very big difference between the nice one and the not nice one. But if you go to a random coffee shop that you haven't eaten before, you order like bread and egg, cannot go wrong one.
Hey, I disagree. I need to bring some random kopitiam, right? That I know is bad Kaya toast and eggs. Then I let you try. The bread is still soft. You know, it's not really toasted. It's still kind of like the gardenia style bread. The egg is like going to go into hard boiled area already. Then I let you try. Then you tell me.
Then maybe I'm lucky lah.
Well, but I do agree that I think the differentiation is less. The chances of you getting that is a lot lesser. Yeah. Okay. And do you try? Okay, this is not part of the question, but what's your preferred drink to pair with it?
Coffee. So I'll drink with coffee. Yeah.
Dang, I miss kopi, man. Okay.
Coffee.
No, I miss kopi, like kopi, Singapore kopi.
Condensed
Kopi si siu dai. That's my jam. Okay. Chris.
Oh, my number 5 is easy. My number 5 is chicken rice.
Okay.
You have the same problem as me. Cannot eat with bone, or you're okay with bone.
No, for me, chicken rice is one of those things like it's quite a staple dish.
Yep.
Like, again, he says like for me, chicken rice is one of those fairly safe things. Like,
Yeah.
it's very hard to go wrong with it. At the most, you get a regular plate of chicken with tasteless regular white rice, right? That's about as bad as it can go, effectively.
Yeah.
But it's ranked fairly low, I suppose, on my list because
it's readily available.
It's not that hard to find. I think nowadays
yeah.
there are a lot of places you can find, Singapore Hainanese chicken rice if you really wanted to, or it's not that hard to make it at home. So if you desperately needed to eat chicken rice, just make it yourself.
As you speak it now, Marion is making chicken rice now.
See, there you go. So that's why it's a bit lower on my list, lah.
Okay, so I'm gonna put you guys on this. I'm gonna put you all guys on the spot. Chris, where do you go for your chicken rice?
Where do I go for my chicken rice?
I'm not gonna say everybody, by the way, because you're right. It's a staple. Everybody has a chicken rice place.
I'm all about convenience, so one of the closest places to me is a Boon Tong Kee, so I just go to Boon Tong Kee.
Okay, yeah, Boon Tong Kee is good. Yeah. Boon Tong Kee is a chain restaurant for those people.
But I will say, growing up, there was a chicken rice stall at the Empress Road hawker center that I loved growing up. I have no idea where the man went, but I love that place growing up.
Okay. Lam, do you have a chicken rice place?
We used to have, so my house downstairs used to have a chicken rice place that was with us since 1997. So his shop logo is very simple one. Boon Chicken Rice since 1997. And it's very ugly but it's very nice and it's like $2, After so many years, still $2 that time. But unfortunately, after we moved in, then they moved out already. Then the new replacement chicken rice sucks. So if I have to, I'll still eat there.
Yeah. Do you know where he went?
Yeah, it's somewhere nearby, but it's not walking distance anymore. So it's like near yet not near. Then,
I get what you mean.
Yeah.
Not worth it to drive, but also not really close enough to walk.
For me, the chicken rice have to be within walking distance. That is like the staple.
True. Okay. Marv, do you have a place?
Yes, I do. In fact, chicken rice is also on my list. In the interest of time, do you want to just go through if somebody names it? Name something on your list? Okay.
Go ahead. What is it? No, that means you're number one. You already auto know.
No. It's actually my number 2.
Okay. Wow, that's pretty high.
The chicken rice that I eat the most at is this place near my office lah. It's in Chong Pang. So Chong Pang is like also quite nice, like a lot of good food, right?
Yeah.
There's this shop that's called 记得来, which in Chinese means remember to come lah. Yeah. So I have a colleague who joined.
It's a double pun, right? Because Ji is chicken.
So I have a colleague who joined us in like April, and he eats from that store almost every day if he's in office.
Oh my goodness!
Yeah, yeah, but it's really good. It's really good. Yeah. I would suggest that you guys try it if you're ever in Chong Pang.
Yeah.
I
mean, I would say chicken rice as one of the Singapore staple dishes is one of the most re-eatable dishes. Like if I had to choose one to eat every day, chicken rice is pretty high on the list.
Any of you have chicken rice on your list?
No, I don't have it. I mean, I'm the only person that's left, so I don't have it.
Okay. Oh yeah,
and it's not honorable mention. Yeah, Lam put an honorable mention already. Sorry guys, I don't like chicken rice that much. The only chicken rice I do like chicken rice, but it's not. It might crack my top 10, but nowhere near my top 5. I like I think Boon Tong Kee and like there are some famous chain restaurants in Singapore. I think they serve. I think the good thing about chain restaurants is that they are very consistent. So the type of quality of their chicken is very consistent. I always order salty usually. So you can choose between roast chicken and white chicken and steamed chicken. But the only one place that I order Bai Ji is at S11 at Bishan. So it's very unique because what they do is after they finish steaming the chicken, right, they actually soak the chicken in cold water. So the skin doesn't stay white. It actually becomes translucent, almost like a gelatin kind of thing. So I think they have the best chicken, but in Singapore, in terms of like the quality of the chicken. S11. Lam is like, don't make sweeping statements like that, bro.
I would think that Buntonki's white chicken is super nice. Like,
yeah, I mean, it is. I did say Bundoki is really good, but to me, I like, and S11 always has a queue. So if you do go and eat it, you have to go there. Like it will sell out by 2. So make sure you go early. Okay. That being said, let's go to our number 4. So my number 4 is sambal stingray. Okay. So sambal stingray is so yeah. Those of you who are not from Singapore, you're like, oh my gosh, you guys eat stingray. But yeah, this is I mean, to me, this is
for Steve Irwin.
yeah. To me, sambal stingray is the iconic supper dish. So when you go out for supper with friends, usually wherever you go, chom chom, whatever iconic supper place you go to, like yes, you order the other ingredients that come with it. I don't want to say it for fear of insulting people that say, "Oh my gosh, what do you mean those are side ingredients?" But to me, sambal stingray is like the thing you go for, and then you have the accompanying pieces that surround the sambal stingray,
like satay and all those stuff.
Yeah, that's to me. I know some people maybe they just go for satay or whatever, but for me, sambal stingray is the centerpiece. And for me, have you guys ever tried stingray without sambal?
Yes.
No.
Yes.
Try it. It sucks. It has no flavor. It has no flavor. It tastes like nothing.
I agree.
So one time, my friend went with me, and she didn't eat spicy. So we ordered sambal stingray without sambal, and it was the worst thing I've ever tried. Not the worst thing, but it's horrible. Don't try it.
The waste of
money. So sambal stingray.
Like, do they serve with any sauce, like lemon sauce?
No. They usually put it on a banana leaf, right? And then they steam it.
Yeah.
Right? So they just do the same thing, except they don't put the sauce on top. It's horrible. Okay. Don't have it. Okay? So sambal stingray is my number 4. Okay? Marv, you want to go next?
My 4 is char kway teow, which is your 5th. So
char kway teow.
Yeah. I mean, I love char kway teow, so I've been not eating it for a while. Because char kway teow
it is very
super
unhealthy.
sinful, yeah.
Super, yeah. It is very unhealthy. I mean, I just said one of the main ingredients is pork lard.
I know, right?
Yeah. I'm curious. Chris and Nam, is char kway teow in your list?
Nope.
No.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Sambal stingray is actually in one of my honorable mention that I was fighting for. Thinking about which one to put. Yeah.
Oh. This is why we're the 2 gamer dads, Marv. They're on our list.
Right. Okay. Lam next, I think.
Yeah, Lam.
My next one is on the 4th is laksa.
Laksa, okay. And can I just ask you, which laksa do you pick?
Not the Penang laksa. Not the Assam laksa. Is the spicy one.
The spicy coconut based laksa.
Yeah, not the sour
Singaporean laksa.
Yeah,
yeah. Do you have a reason why you chose it?
I think laksa is like it's a comfort food lah. Imagine I paint the scenario for you on a day that you are a bit shag, outside it's raining, it's very hot, it's very cooling, then you have a cup of chin chow or like
it's very
soya bean drink that you can quench the heat. Then after you eat a bowl of laksa, walao, then the laksa must super piping hot, and then you let soup. Yeah. The feeling is damn cute.
Your dream doesn't make sense because you said Singapore during a time where it's cooling. I'm like, never in Singapore.
Raining.
Okay. Is there do you go for the katong style laksa where they only give you the spoon? Or to you any laksa is fine?
As long as I know the laksa is nice, so it can come from a recommendation. It doesn't necessarily have to be katong laksa per se.
So,
but that type of genre, I think is fine as long as it's recommended. Because laksa, I also think that can make until very not nice.
Yeah,
very careful.
Oh, for sure.
That's so dangerous, man.
Yeah. Although I think laksa, the differentiation is not that high. I think most laksas are okay. Like it ranges from average to really good. I very rarely see mediocre laksas. They are just not.
I think anything there's hum in it goes from lao sai to very good. So
do you guys all eat hum in your laksa?
No, I don't.
Depends.
No.
Oh, you don't? Yeah. Okay.
So I'll eat with a friend.
Seamood.
Sometimes you do, is it?
Yeah.
I'll eat with a friend and then the friend get blessed by my hum. Sounds wrong, but yeah.
Hum is cockle, so yeah. Usually it's automatic.
No, again, it depends, right? Because it also the reputation of the store also comes into play.
Yeah.
Like if I've never eaten at the store before, I probably won't order the hum because you have no idea how long the hum has been sitting there.
True. Doesn't it come automatic though?
You have to ask. You ask for it, lah.
Tell
Ask you say you don't want.
Or you don't.
Oh, so okay.
You
You
should
order,
get
you
the
see,
side
you
one.
order.
Yep.
They don't put
Yeah.
together one. Like they don't stir it and fry it for you. It's like at the side, so you can just scoop it up.
Hum? Really?
Yeah, hum.
Okay.
Yeah. Laksa hum usually is put at the side. Am I wrong?
Yeah, it's usually separate. Yeah,
Yeah,
then
yeah,
they put it. It's like but yeah, okay. All right. I mean that's a good choice.
I also have laksa on my list.
Sweet
So
lah.
Mark is gonna clear all his, but before he
It's on my
discusses
third.
his-
So only my first one is still not chosen. But
Okay,
For
so number
me-
3 is laksa.
yeah, let me just skip ahead. Laksa, the one that I eat like the most is from Kilini Kopitiam.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there's one.
Wow,
There is one like
okay.
near my place, like walking distance. Sometimes I have it for breakfast, which sounds like something that you wouldn't want to eat for breakfast, right? But what Lam says is true. It's damn shook. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Kilini
Chris.
is a chain, by the way. Yeah,
Yeah,
right.
it's a chain.
You're talking about the chain, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Chris,
Chris,
number 4.
My number 4 is prata.
Good choice.
Good. I mean, it's on my honorable mention, guys. I do not like it.
What type of prata, Chris?
Can you specify your prata?
What?
If I put a gun to your head, I tell you choose one prata type of
Eat for the
prata.
rest
What
of
would you
my life?
choose?
Probably plain egg.
What do you say?
Plain
Sorry, plain
egg. Plain egg. Egg prata.
plain egg. Yeah, egg prata.
If I could only eat one prata for the rest of my life.
What's your usual go-to order, by the way?
I usually have one kosong and one egg.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
Same, right? I think that's the test of any prata store. Give me one kosong, one egg.
Yeah,
I'll judge your prata from there.
yeah.
Yeah, none of that fancy like
Yeah.
mushroom with cheese and pork floss and yeah.
And usually it's freaking expensive, by the way. When you add mushroom egg prata like $4.90. What the heck? $4.90 for mushroom and egg in my prata. But I think do you guys feel the pain sometimes when you order plain prata and they just take it from the side? Like they don't even bother to make it fresh for you. They're like, just
Yes.
it's already made, just take a point. Then you're like, wow, sian.
So I normally don't order plain prata.
Same.
If I want plain
Or this-
prata, I order coin prata.
Oh, the hack. Life hack.
Yes. Because coin prata is smaller, right? And normally they give you a few pieces. And coin prata is super crispy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I
Chris,
think it
you guys your
It depends on the store. Some stores they make it fresh for you.
yeah.
But some stores
What's your-
you can see the stack of plain prata just sitting by the
You
that it's coming off. So in those kind of cases, maybe the answer is just to order 2 egg.
And then they go to another stack and then they take your 2 egg.
You go behind the egg frozen prata.
Actually, I got a question for Chris. What's your thoughts on like all those mutabak? So all those
I like mutabak.
prata with so
Yeah, I like
it's
murtabak.
okay also lah.
Yeah. I love that stuff.
But to me, they don't fall under the prata family.
They don't fall under the prata family lah. But
Yeah.
the murtabak,
Murtabak is a totally different game. It's like saying roti john is a prata.
No, but mutabak is just you put the meat inside the prata one, no?
No, it's not the same. That's like saying lasagna as a ravioli. No. Damn it. I mean, technically it's the same ingredients. It's just reconfigured. But I mean, I don't think it's the same.
Okay.
Do you guys? Okay, so give me your recommendation, Chris, since it's on your list.
Me,
Like in terms of a place, where do you go to for?
again, it's convenience. So lots of places like, I mean, the usual places like Casuarina, Springleaf.
Yeah.
The most convenient one is I go to this place called El Azhar along Bukit Timah.
Oh yeah.
Blah, blah, blah. Those stores along Upper Thomson.
Yeah. Anywhere along Upper Thomson, you can choose a prata
these kind of
place.
places
You'll
are
get
basically-
Google one.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. And next question, Lam, because you sounded so offended at my prata honorable mention, right? Do you also have prata on your list?
I mean, I don't have. Yeah. It's
Then you don't have it. Oh, you don't have it. You sounded so offended. It's not even on your list.
No, but because my okay, you see, my list deals with feeling, deals with feeling. So I not say I don't like the feeling of eating prata lah. I mean, it can be okay, but because I have to clarify first. Okay. Because last time I used to stay in Yishun. Okay.
Okay.
So if you want to go Yishun, the nicest prata place that you go is the Casuarina Prata and
Jalan
no,
Kayu.
I'll go. Not Jalan Kayu. It's Upper Thomson there.
Thomson, yes. Yeah.
And to me, I feel shitty because it's very far away. So that's why it was not on my list, because I feel that you want to go and eat this one, you have to travel so far away.
It's a vengeful snub of prata.
So proximity is one of his criteria.
Proximity
So
definitely.
if you had lived in Upper Thomson, it might have been on your list.
For sure, you'll be on.
Prata is crying in the corner right now. Why am I not on the list? Okay. Okay, but Prata's a great choice. Like I said, it's in my number 6 or so I agree. Okay, number 3. So Marv already clear is number 3, right? Number 2 is laksa, right?
Laksa, yes.
Okay, my number 3 is bak chor mee.
Hey, same.
Oh, cool. Alright, so bak chor mee is usually okay. So the unique thing about bak chor mee is you can choose any kind of noodles, but usually it is an egg noodle, and usually the two choices that you choose between is mee pok or mee kia, which is a thin egg noodle or a kind of a thicker, flat, like a fettuccine style egg noodles, and it's usually served in a chili soya vinegar based sauce that they stir in with mushrooms. And the reason why it's called bak chor mee is because it's served with the bak chor is like minced meat that's served on the side, and sometimes they serve it with either fish cake, fish ball, or they give you like a crispy wonton, depending on which store you go to. And the reason why I chose it is because I love bak chor mee. I think it's when I go to a hawker center, it's my number 1 fallback option. Like if I don't know what else to choose, I'll just go to the bak chor mee store and order bak chor mee. Because to me, okay, so I go back against what I said. I think bak chor mee is one of the least differentiated foods across all hawker centers. You can have bad bak chor mee, but it is generally quite rare to find bad bak chor mee. Right? So I think for me, bak chor mee is like the safe option in most hawker centers, and I will eat it. I can almost eat it every day.
I got a question for all of you guys, right? Do you think bak chor mee is least differentiated in terms of option because it's easy to cook, or it's because lousy bak chor mee very fast close shop? You understand what I mean?
No,
because
I
the
think
word
it's
spreads around, right? And it's like,
I think it's easy to cook.
I think because it's easy to cook.
Yeah.
So
I also think that,
I have a friend. I don't know if you guys have heard of him. He's Singaporean. He has a page called BCM Hunter. I don't know if you've heard of this Facebook page. It's gotten quite popular. Like, I think he's been eating bak chor mee for like maybe 1 over a year. He goes to a new bak chor mee place.
Specifically to
yes, he reviews bak chor mee all over Singapore. And I think
I've been eating bak chor mee for years.
Yeah, he goes. I think he's eaten like don't know how many 100 bowls already lah. Even like the ministers also like have commented on his page.
Wow.
Yeah. Wow. So if you all have time, go Facebook and go BCM.
It's like me and ramen.
Yeah,
especially our
So so he has a map where he shows like where he has gone. He'll pin the map, and there are so many bak chor mee shops in Singapore.
Yeah.
So to answer Lam's question, I really think it's because it's easy to cook.
It is true. Yeah. Like I think if you go to any if you go to any kopitiam, right, there will be surefire. Like if you go to kopitiam and you see these shops are absent, you'll be like, what the heck happened to this kopitiam planning committee? Right, so like the more thing at kopitiam that you see, if it's not there, you'll be like, what the heck? It's a drink store. If got no drink store, you'll be like damn confused because the drink store is usually the boss, the owner, right, of the whole kopitiam.
Cannot be lah.
Then the second one, right?
It can't be a hawker center that is no drink store.
That's definitely not possible. If you don't find it there, it's weird. Second one is zi char. Not zi char, cai fan. So if there's a kopitiam without cai fan, you'll be also damn confused. Then I think in equal order, the next two is chicken rice and bak chor mee.
Yeah.
Then after that, it's fair game. After that, anything can happen.
Muslim food also.
Muslim store normally will have one.
True. Yeah. At least a halal option. That's what you're saying, right?
Halal option, yes.
Yeah, it's a halal option. Yeah, but after that, everything is fair game. Like it could be anything after that.
Thai food, whatever.
Yeah. So I mean, so Chris, is there a reason? So you also chose it as number 3, right? Yes. Great man's thing. Like why was it same
it's
reason?
Not higher for me because, as I said, it's quite easy to cook. So, like when I was in the UK and I was missing it, I just made my own bak chor mee.
Yeah, fair.
Wow.
It's not that.
But that's also the beauty of it, right?
Yeah.
So it's easy to make it.
Yeah.
Even when you're overseas.
And you can get the taste from home also.
Yeah. Lam, do you have is it bak chor mee on your list?
No. It doesn't make me happy.
Oh, wait. I think because me and Chris love ramen so much, right? The bak chor mee is kind of like the dry maze soba version in Singapore.
I have an explanation for this because if we classify under noodle category, right, my favorite noodle is still instant noodle. It's still like the Maggi.
Wow.
Yeah, so that will make me happy, but that's not a Singaporean food. So
Yeah.
that doesn't.
Well, depends on the
yeah.
Okay. Sure.
Okay. What's your third?
What's your third then?
My third is cha tao kueh, carrot cake.
So that is a breakfast food though. That's a breakfast.
No.
Chai tao kueh can be eaten at all times of the day.
Yeah,
anytime.
it's all
Can be supper, lunch, dinner.
Nobody eats in supper, guys. Nobody.
No, yes, people eat supper.
No, we ate chai tau kueh for supper. Honto?
Yeah.
Really?
Normally it's chai tau kueh and char kway teow like combined. Side by
But cha
side.
tao kueh is
Combo, yeah.
sharing platter. So it's the
Yes,
sharing platter
sharing
of
platter.
the hawker center. You want to buy happy food? You buy cha tao kueh. Nobody complain on.
I
Nobody's
agree.
gonna be.
It's normally in the center of the table, right, for people to share.
I think I'm eating with the wrong friends already.
You don't have
So-
cha tao kueh on your list? Nobody has.
I don't have.
No.
You all have never.
So
thought-
can I?
It's outside my top 5. But
Yeah.
I like-
No.
I like
Can I
chai tau
ask you? Do you eat black or white chai tau kueh?
Okay, I used to like white one because there's a lot of egg, but I think black one is nicer. I personally
Yes. Okay.
like one.
Okay. I give you that. I give you that. I almost never ordered a white one.
I'm probably
Like, why
one of
would
the
you
weird
re-
ones that prefers the white over the black.
Oh, really? I'm like, why would you reject more flavor?
I don't know. Like, it feels to me like it's harder to do a good plate of white than
Agree.
black. Because black is basically just the flavor of the sauce, right?
Yes.
Like that's the
I
only.
agree. You can't hide behind dark soy sauce. That's true.
Whereas the white one, like there's some places that you have it's just the perfect ratio of the chai tao kueh to the egg.
Yes.
Yes.
There's just the perfect amount of sambal. Then there's some of them they put the chai po in there. Walao,
Wow.
it's,
Damn it.
Yeah.
Hungry
you know,
now.
like there are some places where they get the balance
Deliveroo,
right.
come
It's
here.
just like,
We never explain.
the problem is that the variance is high, lah. Like
Yes.
the terrible white is really quite terrible.
So those of you who don't know what chai tau kueh stands for carrot cake, but it's actually not carrot. It's actually white radish, and they kind of make it into like cubes. They cut into cubes that kind of feel very it's like springy, like it's like mochi. Not I wouldn't even say it's mochi. I don't even know how to describe it's like a kueh kind of texture, and they usually stir fry it with like what Chris said, eggs and taipo, which is pickled radish, right? Pickled radish.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, something, and it's stir fry some
Salted
kind of
mushroom.
some. Yeah.
Chili.
Okay. I almost never eat white, by the way. Like I don't eat white at all.
Black is the safer option.
Yeah, variance too high for white already.
Yeah, variance very high.
So you only eat white at a place that you know is good, right?
You know it's good,
Someone
yeah,
has to
correct.
recommend. Someone definitely has. Then you can point to someone and say, "Hey, your recommendation sucks." Man.
Sucks. That's the typical Singaporean pastime. You don't dare to recommend places because they try you like, hey, well, this one sucks. Why you introduce to me?
No,
You go which day?
It's
Which
standard
uncle
drop,
for you?
standard drop.
And
No, that's
really,
really
it's like.
face your recommendation by saying, "Hey, but I haven't been there in a long time, lah." So
Do you know that in Kovan, where I live, there's many bak chor mees that's famous, but sometimes depending on who cooks, right, the quality of the bak chor mee is different. So sometimes it's the father that cooks, right? Everybody will say, okay, then the queue is longer. But the moment it changes to the son, right, who's younger, the queue shortens considerably.
So sad.
Yeah.
that actually doesn't make any sense because bak chor mee, like virtually requires no cooking. The ratio.
I've tried both. It's the same. I don't think there's any difference. I think it's all placebo.
Bak chor mee should make no difference because the ratios should already be predetermined.
Yeah, the ingredients are there already, right? So
Yeah.
okay. So we got the first three settled. Marv, you said a number 2 already, right?
Yeah, chicken rice.
Number 2 is chicken rice. Okay, I'll go with my number 2 then. My number 2 is freaking black pepper crab.
Okay.
So I choose when I said crab at first to Marianne, she said no, you have to specify, which I realize is true because there are so many varieties of.
Chili crab.
Okay, so in Singapore,
agree,
the type of crabs in Singapore is all the types. Usually it's Dungeness or Sri Lankan style crab, but then the way they make it is different. So I like black pepper, white pepper crab. So if I go to a place, I know everybody will order chili crab because that's like the Singapore staple, or salted egg crab. Now that's the big thing, right? Salted egg crab. But for me, a good, well-cooked black pepper crab is really hard to beat because I think the balance of pepper and savory is like unbeatable. I think sometimes chili can be very hard to eat because the chili masks the flavor of the crab. Pepper kind of like suits it better. Yeah,
I agree.
Wow, all pepper crab believe. So Lam also, you also prefer pepper crab?
No, I
You prefer chili?
salted egg crab actually.
Ah,
But because there's bone, right? So I don't really eat crab. Like
you have a wife. Ask your wife for you. You have 4 kids, 5 kids, 4.
Come on, Lam.
I let me pay for you.
The work to the meat ratio is not worth it.
What?
There's a lot of work, then there's so little meat. It's not worth it.
But the other way to look about it is that the work makes the reward so much better.
I agree.
I agree.
But when you peel a crab like the claw perfectly and then you just have the meat, right? Wow.
Are you guys okay? Maybe because all of you eat crab, I presume, right? All of you love to eat crab. If someone peel for you, Lam, you'll eat it, right? For sure.
Okay, so I used to want to, but then I see like Stella, right? She will peel the crab until very like suffering, right? Then the crab only, I feel like very poor thing like that, right? Because just like one mouth like that, I'm no more already. Then I'm like, okay, then I'll tell her, I don't need that.
Okay.
So I rather just
So I'll ask, are you a crab or are you a pincer or leg person?
Pincer easier, right? Pincer.
As in, which kind of meat do you prefer? Pincer or body/leg? Because usually it's split into 2, right? Whether you eat the body leg or the pincer. Everybody, by the way, you can just
Pincer.
say.
Obviously pincer.
Pincer.
Yeah.
Because some people who swear by body leg. Yeah. But I'm like, you guys crazy, man. Pincer is like so much more meat.
Doesn't
exactly. The work
doesn't compute.
Ratio doesn't
and there are how many legs on the crab? 10? 8?
8, bro. Hello.
I don't know. It's not a spider. I don't know. But anyway, there's 8 legs and 2 pincers. You do the math. One is more precious than the other. All right. Does anybody else have crab, by the way, under this?
Yes, I do. But mine is not black pepper.
Oh, so okay. Then you can keep it to that one. Okay, Lam. Marv said number 2 here. Okay, Lam, go ahead.
Rice, yeah.
My second choice is it? My second choice is nasi lemak. Don't tell me you don't have. Oh my god.
Malaysians coming for you, bro. You careful.
The arms right now, they're stopping the podcast.
Lemak is so Singaporean as a Singaporean.
Oh no. If Grace listening, if she's listening, might lose a friend.
So can you say, okay, when you say nasi lemak, right? Do you mean Singapore style nasi lemak? When I say Singapore style, right, I mean the Chinese style, which is like Punggol nasi lemak. Or do you mean the wrapped with the banana leaf? Inside only got ikan bilis and peanuts, egg and cucumber and sambal.
As long as the rice is the coconut rice.
Coconut rice, right?
Yes. So I classify nasi lemak as coconut rice.
Okay. Fine. So your number 2 is actually just coconut rice.
That's true.
Coconut rice
with fried chicken.
No, cannot fried chicken because fried chicken got bone. So like fried cutlet.
Oh my god. So you don't eat fried chicken with nasi lemak?
Like chicken wing?
Bring it home.
That's like the best part. Oh my god. Okay, I would love to eat nasi lemak with you, Lam, because I would just take a fried chicken.
I would change it to like cutlet or whatever,
Oh my gosh.
If they don't have cutlet, then you use the sotong, the fried sotong. That one.
So are you like so you even eat the kind that the $1 kind packed in the banana leaf pyramid shape? You tear the sambal out of the packet kind of.
Yeah, that one is super awesome. But that one cannot keep. That one have to very fast. The thing will go spoil.
So I agree, and nasi lemak is awesome. I think Chris will have take offense at the idea that it's Singaporean. But it's a good choice. I do agree that like the Punggol style nasi lemak is definitely not found anywhere else. Where it's basically cai fan basically. It's cai fan and coconut, right?
Coconut rice Coconut rice.
I like the Punggol style nasi lemak, I gotta say.
Yeah. So can
nice.
So can I ask, what do you think is the most important, coconut rice or the sambal?
I think it's the rice. To me, I mean the what you call that? Chili is really important. But if the chili is nice and the rice is okay, the chili is just a little bit only. So the rice is all right.
Okay.
If your rice is not nice, it will be very suffering. Okay, so there's a type of it's cheap and good and everywhere. Crave nasi lemak.
Okay.
So it's like cheap and good and like everywhere, right?
So you prefer the crave over the crave is like it's from Adam Road Nasi Lemak, right?
It's a lava rasa.
Yeah, it's a rasa. Do you prefer that style? So that's more the Malay style of Nasi Lemak compared to the Chinese style, which is the Punggol Nasi Lemak. Right?
It still boils down to the rice, I feel.
Okay. I do love crave though. Crave is like my go-to. Like, I don't know what to eat. Let me just go find something.
Wouldn't go wrong, Just like
it's my Grab go-to. Like, I don't know if okay, let's go and Grab and try to find something. Then crave is usually the top of this. So I agree with you. Does anybody else have nasi lemak? I'm sure Chris doesn't have it. So all right, Chris, go ahead with number 2.
My number 2 is Hokkien Mee. Specifically the Singapore style.
Singapore style is the white one, is it?
Is the non-black one.
Oh, okay.
There's a black Hokkien Mee. What the heck?
Malaysian style, right?
You don't think you Hokkien Mee?
No. Okay. To preface this, I do not like Hokkien Mee, which will make I don't like Hokkien Mee, so I don't usually eat it.
But you like ham, right? You like the lard, right? Like
I do.
Lard, right? Then Hokkien Mee has the lard that makes it super nice also,
But I would say Hokkien Mee is one of those that also has a huge differentiation.
True.
Yes.
True.
Like there's it's hard to find good Hokkien Mee.
Very true.
And then but it's very easy to find bad Hokkien Mee. So I do you have a go-to? Yes. Or same?
I mean, there's the usual ones that are very popular, like Chom Chom's not bad.
It's a supper food also.
Yeah, like there are a few I've had a few in different places. I keep trying to. I need to go and look for those that like the few places that still do the ones that like over the charcoal fire.
Yeah.
I need to go and find those. I haven't really spent our time looking for those.
I will say that Hokkien Mee is one of those dishes that will taste good even when it's like when you get it delivered and it becomes cold after a while, because it's already gravy kind of. It still tastes decent, even like because some foods like get soggy, right? Like your fried nasi lemak, whatever. Like when it comes delivered to you, it's not nice. But Hokkien Mee is like it stays good even through the journey. So I do agree with that, I guess.
Chris, how important is the chili of the Hokkien Mee?
Quite important.
Yeah, I think it's very important. I think it's part of the dish. Like if you don't have chili,
Hokkien Mee as sambal is to your nasi lemak.
True. I'll take that. Yes.
Yeah.
Well, very important. There's the famous one. There's one at Kovan next to the Punggol Nasi Lemak, which is famous for having super spicy. You put 1 drop and GG already. You can't eat the rest already. Okay.
That's probably not necessarily good chili though.
It's not good. I don't think it's a good Hokkien Mee actually. Although it's famous for spicy. Okay, so now we hit the holy grail. Okay, our number ones. Alright, and okay, my number 1 choice, the food that I think I love the most in Singapore, and I want to, if I come to Singapore, I would bring my friends to eat, is prawn noodles. And not Hokkien Mee, like the Geylang Hae Mee. So the thing I like about prawn noodles is because I think dry or soup, both are equally good. It depends on your mood, how you want it. I think for me, I think the broth is number 1.
When your mom guessed it. Your mom's asking if your number 1 is prawn noodles.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. She's my mom, right? She should know what I like the best. But I think when it comes to Hae Mee,
oh no, Jamie's here.
But I think they're different. So there's 2 styles of prawn mee. All right, one is the old school style, the Teochew style, which is like the kind that you have at your primary school, right? So the one where your broth is more pork stock than it is prawn broth. I'm not talking about that. That is dumb. Every time I eat prawn noodles, right, that tastes like that, I'm just sad. I just go home sad. I wonder why I ordered it in the first place. I'm talking about like the kind that they cook like 3,000 prawn heads in the broth and it's been stirring in their pot for like the past 3 days. So I think in terms of flavor wise, I love that. So, and I think it's also quite unique, right? And I think it's also very easily accessible by other people from other cultures because it's just noodles
with prawns.
and it's with prawns. So that's my number one. I love it, and I think it's the number one dish that I miss the most in Japan.
But you can make it, right? You probably do it.
I mean,
A bit
you could.
tough.
I think it's tough. I think that's the other thing, but that makes it special. I think good prawn noodles is hard to make.
This is Japanese like.
It's okay. It's my list. I know it's like
Getting
my list. But I mean, I don't know whether you guys are a fan of prawn noodles, but
I like prawn
for
noodles,
me,
but it's not in my top 5.
No.
Sure, and that's fine.
Because prawn noodle have bone.
Come on.
Oh my god! You know nowadays, like prawn noodles, they actually they actually like butterfly the whole prawn for you, right? So all you do is just like tear off the meat and just throw the shell into the little box that they give you.
You don't want to
The
do
paper box. Oh my gosh! Alright. So I think Mark kind of like reviewed what his number one is, but come tell us your number
so
one.
mine is crab. But what crab is it? Anyone want to take a guess?
It's chili crab for sure.
Yeah. I mean, obviously chili crab. Because you gotta eat it with the mantos, the fried mantos. Right.
You're the same as Mark. You're the same as Marian. Marian specified the exact same thing.
So I grew up with black pepper crab. My parents actually didn't let me eat chili crab because I don't know why. But I grew up with black pepper crab. Only when I was like way older, right? Like I think maybe in my teenage years before I started eating chili crab. And then when I discovered chili crab with mantou, it elevated it above black pepper crab. Yeah. So you have to have the mantou with the chili crab. If you don't have the mantou, right, then the meal is not complete.
I agree with that. I think most people who order chili crab will order mantou. Like if someone ordered chili crab and didn't order mantou, I'll be like, what the heck is going on? So I agree with that. What do you guys think? Agree?
I would say that if the dish requires an accompaniment to elevate it, then the dish is unable to stand on its own merits.
Fair point.
No, but it could also be like the same thing for your chili and Hokkien mee.
I would disagree. I think it's part of it, you know.
Yeah.
It's like you're saying the chili to the chili crab, you know?
Yeah.
I think mantou is a completely separate dish.
Yeah.
It's
not,
you know what I mean? It's not like you order the
agree,
chili crab and it automatically comes with the mantou.
yes.
There's a difference.
Okay.
I think most places they have it with mantou, right?
Automatic? No.
No. Only like Jumbo. Jumbo will give it to you. But I think most
is that they know
got bone is it now? Got bone now.
You know my wedding dinner? Do you remember my wedding dinner had mantou?
Yeah, it was really just mantou and just chili crab sauce.
With chili crab sauce, yeah, as the staple.
Okay.
Yep.
So,
That's how much I love it. So maybe my number one should be just mantou with chili crab sauce.
Actually, number one is mantou with chili crab sauce. It's not actually the chili crab.
I don't like, not say I don't like lah, because they know that the mantou is something that people will want to buy with the chili crab. Right?
So you don't like that?
Mantou is overpriced. So it's like, you know, that every time you eat, then it's like waste money, you know. Not say waste money, it's like painful.
So it's an ethical decision. It's a loot box. They're making you buy the loot box. It's a DLC. They make you buy the DLC. Yeah, I mean, but it's true. I agree with that. I think it doesn't come with it usually, unless you go to like a very expensive seafood restaurant, of which your crab already basically pays for the mantou. But most like seafood restaurants will not give you mantou unless you ask for it.
Yeah. So your chat is saying go to there's a Le Stream Ramen at Paragon.
Oh, I've been there.
Yeah.
Oh, Le Stream Ramen is really good.
It's good.
So prawn ramen, chop up the prawn.
Yes. So I love Le Stream Ramen just because it is like a ramenized version of prawn noodles.
Yep.
And I agree. That's why I love it.
It's
I love that flavor profile. Yeah. Okay. Okay. I'm interested to hear Lam's number one. I'm interested in all your number one. So I'm prepared to be very like, what the heck now? So
no, it's not your one.
Man.
Oh, wait. He get cut off?
I think we lost Lam there.
Oh, his number one is so awful.
Groundbreaking.
Okay.
Okay.
One is Cheong.
What?
Come on.
The heck?
What kind of Chee Cheong Fun? We must specify what kind of Chee Cheong Fun.
Like the classic Chee Cheong Fun with just the black sauce and the sesame seed.
Or the Hong Kong style.
Some kind of Chee Cheong
Or like
Fun.
the Tim Ho Wan style.
Or dinner style. Okay.
Where could people eat the black sauce Chee Cheong Fun as number one? Without abomination.
Dude, you chose Chee Cheong Fun, bro. Who knows?
Oh, okay, so it's okay. Yeah, Chee Cheong Fun is like the staple food. You know, you eat really, it's very fun. You go. Yeah, it's like the fun food. No, you go dim sum, with all your family. You don't eat Chee Cheong Fun alone, right? Like it will be very sad, right? So usually it's a communal food. Everybody eats together. Very fun.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, look what Jamie said. Jamie said all your number ones are blowing my mind. She almost regrets watching this episode.
No, sorry guys. I think we can all agree that prawn noodles is not on the same level. Prawn noodles chili crab is not on the same level as Chee Cheong Fun.
Yes, I agree. Chee Cheong Fun is
if you were to take a survey of Singaporeans, 100 of them, and ask them what their number food in Singapore, I guarantee you that less than 2% will say Chee Cheong Fun.
Really? I think not a single person will say Chee Cheong Fun unless Lam is in there.
Chee Cheong Fun doesn't make your top 10?
Nope.
No, not even close. Top 20.
Okay, wait, no. Chee Cheong Fun doesn't make my top 10 because to me it is dim sum and that's not Singaporean enough.
Oh, okay. Fair enough.
So it was not even in consideration.
Even if you count it as the most Singaporean dish, it still will not make my top.
Okay, can.
Yeah, I think it still wouldn't make my top 10 either. True.
Okay.
There's too much competition. So, okay, you said just now, right, that it's because of feeling, right?
Mm.
Do you have like a feeling associated with it? Is that why you?
For sure. Because Chee Cheong Fun is, this very famous restaurant called Red Star, Hong Seng.
Yes.
Yeah, so it's when we were young, then my parents will bring me with the whole family, and then only special occasions we get to eat Chee Cheong. Go eat there, right?
Yeah.
No, but wouldn't that consider as dim sum?
Yeah.
Rather than just Chee Cheong Fun.
But it's
not very specific.
I think if I go dim sum, the first thing I order is Chee Cheong Fun.
Okay.
I even go Tipo One or whatever. Like if the Chee Cheong Fun sucks, then.
I know that's true. It's like the purest thing, right? It's like number one. It's so simple that if you mess it up, it's like an egg.
Basically, everything is going to suck already. Yeah.
I was gonna say, Lam's favorite Singapore food is Hong Kong.
Yeah.
Okay, but we already established at the start that most Singapore foods are bastardized anyway. So anyway, okay, that was great. Thanks, Lam. I knew that was going to be controversial, and I wasn't wrong. Dude, it's so controversial, but anyway.
Wait. We need to describe what Chee Cheong Fun is first before we move on.
Okay, Lam, how about you describe it?
Okay, Chee Cheong Fun is this super awesome dish that is made out of rice, and then they smash the rice, and then they put it in like rice water. Then after that, what they will do is they will fold the rice water into a steamy thingy, and then they will cut out the Chee Cheong Fun or the rice rolls, and then they will put this super awesome salty sauce on top, with soya sauce, and then they will put a little bit of the what you call it? Sometimes they put the Cheong, which is like fried onions. Fried onions. And then it will taste super yummy, and then you can eat it with chili sauce.
Guys, it's rice noodles with soya sauce and fried onions.
You can't describe it like that. You must.
This is a podcast. Don't tell 2 minutes of how the Chee Cheong Fun came to be. Okay. Okay, last one, Chris.
So my number one is I didn't even pick like a type of dish. It is a specific dish from a specific place.
Oh wow! Okay, go ahead.
It is specifically the black pepper hor fun from a specific stall at Amoy Street Food Centre.
Wow, black pepper hor fun. Wow.
Black pepper beef hor fun. Sorry.
Oh,
yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Hor fun.
The reason why it's my number one is because coming back from the UK, stuck in quarantine for 2 weeks, is the only thing that I ordered from outside.
Wow.
Only thing.
It's like that nice, is it? Or it's
Or you just like hor fun that much?
No, it is this particular stall. I love
Okay, you gotta send us the address,
So you don't eat hor fun normally?
No, I do, but it would not be my number one.
Okay.
But that particular stall
hor fun in general.
In general, it's like probably top 10 maybe.
Okay.
Yeah.
But this one elevates it to top number one.
Yeah.
Only this store. Okay. Yeah, I would just caveat by saying I do not like hor fun. I don't like gravy based foods like lor mee or hor
Oh,
I don't
fun.
like
I'm not a
it
fan.
either.
But what about this hor fun that makes it
nice.
brings it over the top?
I don't know, man. There is, I don't know. It's just
Okay.
Okay.
it's just a taste, lah.
Hey.
Yeah, I can't even explain it. It's just like
Yeah.
But black pepper hor fun quite rare, right? In Singapore.
Pepper beef. No, it's quite common.
No,
What?
it's
Pepper
quite
beef.
common. Black pepper beef
It's quite
hor fun is
common,
very
what?
common.
It's like I think you always have the choice of like the white or the black hor fun.
no, but the
And
black
pepper
pepper
beef is
here
like,
tends to be rather than black pepper tends to be black bean sauce.
Yeah, exactly.
okay, that's true. Okay. All right. So just to cap it all off, Mark, can you give us a summary of what our okay, can I just say okay, no, we don't give summary. Tell me which is the common denominators that resonated
Okay.
throughout.
So common, I think we have 2 for laksa, and then we have chicken rice also 2.
How many? 2?
Yeah,
Is there anything
char
where we have
kway
3?
teow also 2. I don't
Wow.
think so. Okay, if you're not counting honorable mention, then
No.
if you're counting honorable mention,
Then-
chicken rice has 3.
Right, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. So this just goes to show you that the variety of Singapore is so much that we can't even come to
Consensus.
not just a consensus of the top number, but just even like in our top 5, there's no consensus.
Yeah.
But I would say because Lam spoiled it with Cheong. But
Oh, hello. Chichang Fan is awesome, okay?
because I didn't realize that Lam doesn't eat. I didn't realize that Lam's eating habit is like a kid. He doesn't eat his bone.
That's very true. That's Chichang Fan is like,
If I had factored that in, then I think it would be a different ball game. But yeah, okay. So that's it. I hope you guys had fun. You guys can also, those of you are watching right now online, put your top 5 in, and we'll talk about it a bit later. Okay, we spent a lot of time on this, so I was going to talk about games a little bit, just but in the interest of time, I'm going to skip to talking about us being parents because we chose we asked Lam and Chris to come on because they are like in our group, you know, they're one of the most senior. Lam is like the Uber sensei lah. So Lam is like he has the most experience. I'm not saying he's the best dad, because I'm not his son, so I can't tell. But he definitely has the most experience. So now that and we thought it would be interesting to talk about some of the interesting facts because now Meredith and Rebecca, Marv and my kid, is starting to go to nursery. So I wanted to ask some questions regarding like as our kids kind of like transition into this new stage. And also how old is Alexander? 4?
4 plus.
He's 4, right? So now he's also in I think he's going to be K1 next year. Is it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
So
5, 6. Yeah.
So Chris is also slightly ahead of the curve for us. We also want to tap on their combined knowledge. So can I just ask you guys, how was your experience, both of you? What was your experience like sending your kids to nursery or kindergarten?
Fantastic.
Freedom, is it? Bye.
Yeah, it's like you get him out of the house for most of the day.
Lam, do you agree? Was that your overwhelming feeling?
the overwhelming feeling is falling sick. So
Yeah.
I think the starting part is going to be the of course the what Chris says is absolutely true. You get because my kid is just sleeping here, so I have to watch her feelings.
Wait, so your kid is just sleeping next to you while you're doing the podcast?
And then she plopped down. So yeah, so yeah. So I think it's very true that the freedom is very intoxicating. But then, then after that, when they start to keep falling sick, then it's a bit sian. But
Yeah,
then,
because they take the freedom back from you.
yeah, because there's expectation, right, that you are going to be free, right? Then the childcare center is going to call, or the kindergarten is going to call and say that. Yeah, but I feel that their social skills develop super a lot when they go to childcare. It's just that you thought they were sociable, but once they go and they mingle around, it's a totally different level.
Okay. So yeah, so I'm now to give some context. Meredith hasn't gone in yet, right?
No, Meredith is starting school in December.
Okay.
Preschool.
So
Playgroup.
Also, they don't have nursery. When does nursery start for?
She's
they
going
just
for
play group the
playgroup.
whole-
Then next year she's going for pre-nursery.
Okay. So to give you context, like Japan also, Rebecca is also now in Hoikuen, which is basically nursery. Japan doesn't have these like levels where it's like, Singapore is what? Playgroup, pre-nursery, nursery,
and then kindergarten.
Kindergarten. So Singapore has a lot of like these categorizations. Japan doesn't have that. It just says Hoikuen and Yujian, which is like kindergarten and nursery and kindergarten, right? And so my experience is kind of similar to to Chris and Lam, which is that the moment they went in, you're like, what the heck? Why do I have so much free time? And I think one thing is I realized that I know this sounds so bad, and if my wife is listening to this, I apologize, and if my mom is listening to this, I apologize. But I somehow love my kids more when I see them a little bit less. Do you guys feel the same way? Like because I think I love my daughter to bits, but at the same time, like when I'm away from her just a little bit, I start to miss her more. I think about what she's doing in school, but when I'm with her 24/7, like it's a bit overwhelming. So now that she's in school, I kind of love her a bit more, miss her a bit more. Can I just ask you guys, when I don't know whether you guys know this because maybe it's your wife that did it. What was your experience like? How was it like getting them into the? How is the Singaporean system like to get them into nursery, playgroup, kindergarten, whatever?
So you're talking about the signing up process?
Yeah, or like even like on the first day of school when they go, how did that happen for you? Or
I mean, I don't know. I think I'm quite lucky. I think Alex adjusted very well to school, and the first school we sent him to, I think they were also quite smart in that. They said like a week before the official start date, they would invite him over to join in because in that school the very first class or activity that they have in the day is open play, where they go and run around like the field and play with like, their friends and stuff. So that's the very first thing they do in the morning. So for like a week before he officially started, they would invite him to go and play with classmates for a week.
Yeah.
So that, at least he's not a total
not new stranger.
So my first day was effectively bloodless. Like I just left him there. I left him there. Then I went to hide in the school admin office.
Bush. I want to say bush.
Just in case he erupted, but he didn't. So after that, I went home, and that was it. I was like, "Bye, see ya."
Okay. Lam, what about you? You said 4 kids to nursery, right?
Yeah, so my memory is a bit foggy on the kindergarten side. But what I remember is that the schools that we send them to, they have very harsh policy. So like the first day you can stick around, the second day onwards they want them to grow up already. So they say that.
Wow.
So they are trying to manage the mummies and the daddies more than the children.
More than the kids.
I think a lot of nurseries.
Wow.
That's our policy already. You just drop them there and then that's it.
They won't die on. Like they will take care of it on. Like
yeah. Because actually, don't you realize your kids actually survive better without you? Like you're super clingy when your kids are around, right? When you're around, but the moment they're not around, somehow it's like okay lah.
Yeah. They adapt.
So I think that's what the kindergartens or nurseries are trying to do, right? A bit kind of like get you out of the. Okay, and when they. Okay, so in the thing that I don't know whether I want to bounce something off you guys, and maybe you should take notes because this is going to matter to you. In Japan, right, there's something called narashi hoiku, which means it's like a process of your kid getting used to school. But in Singapore, so what does that mean is that different schools have different systems of narashi hoiku. Some schools is like 1 week, some schools is 2 weeks, some schools 1 month, where basically you don't just drop your kid off for the full 8 hours. You kind of like start from like 1 hour for a few days, and then you go to 2 hours, 3 hours. Then you include the nap, and then you include include lunch, then you include the nap, and then eventually you do the full 8 hours. Right. So for certain schools that takes 2 weeks, some schools it takes a whole month for them to do narashi hoiku. Do you think like that would be beneficial for Singapore, or do you think that brutal just cut off take 8 hours is better? Anybody can answer, by the way. Silence.
I mean, I can't answer because my kid hasn't started. So
I think the education. I feel the businesses in Singapore is very smart. So what they do is they know that this is potentially a concern. So for nursery and whatever, right? So they come out with the pre-nursery, they come out with the Toto Ban or the playgroup. So that's
so
how
they really did it.
Yeah, they commercialize the idea.
That's true.
Yeah.
Maybe,
so that's how they inculcate people in.
So they start from even younger, basically.
Yeah.
So what happened for me is that when I signed Meredith up, or rather when we were talking to the person, the lady said that we could send her for so basically she could start school in January, or she also starts school in January. But if she starts school in January, it's pre-nursery, and pre-nursery has like lessons, whereas playgroup from 1 to 2 or 0 to 2 has no lessons. So the person suggested that we start in December, so we have a whole month for her to like get to know her classmates and play with them.
Wow.
Yep. And we're only going to put for half day, but we're paying for full day lah, just in case, you know, we might have to put her for full day.
Wait, you're putting it for half day? Is that a choice?
It's a choice, but you have to pay for full day lah, if you even if you want.
So can I ask why do you make that choice?
Okay, because so I can't really relate to the suddenly got a lot of free time thing, because my parents have always been taking care of her, of Meredith every day, every weekday. So to me, there's no difference whether she goes to school or she goes to my parents' place, because she'll be literally out of my life for 8 hours lah, 8-9 hours. But my mom doesn't want her to stay full day because, you know, precious granddaughter. So my mom's like, I want to cook lunch for her still and bring her home and play with her. So I was like, okay lah, up to you lah. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so it's more like your mom's choice lah, because she's the caretaker in the day basically.
Yeah. But I guess on days where she's busy, like, you know, they gotta go for
I think she can stay the whole day.
Yeah, she can stay the whole day, and since she really knows her friends, then it wouldn't be so bad.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think this transitional thing is quite common. Even Jamie is saying in chat, right, that Australia, Melbourne does this transitional method.
Yeah. But I think the difference is that, like, in Singapore, it's like the start date is the start date, then your transition happens pre-start date.
Oh.
Right. But I'm saying in Japan, it doesn't happen that way. Like your start date is the start of your structured into the system. So like in Japan also, you can come in. So I came in like halfway through the school year, right? Japan school year started in April, by the way. It's very weird. They start in April.
Financial year.
So I came in,
Year.
No, not even financial year. I don't think the financial year is April. I think it's a school year. So in Japan, I think it's because of seasonal thing, right? Because spring
probably
in April. So they start their school in April. And so like Rebecca basically came in like in the middle of the school year, and then you still have to do Nanashi. You don't just jump right in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay, going back to the whole sick thing, right? There's one thing I realized about can I ask how often has Alexander got sick in nursery? Or not much?
I mean, it happened now. He gets sick. They will get sick. That's just.
He's just been sick recently, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Because Rebecca has been working for like 2 months, and she fell sick 3 times.
It happens.
Is this normal?
That's rookie numbers, bro. Talking about 3 times. Every other week they are sick one. Like because the toys and everything, right? They will put in the mouth and all those. Can't run away one.
Can I ask? Is this like something that will like they build immunity over time, or is it just it's gonna happen anyway?
Right?
No, it's gonna happen anyway.
Yeah. So like if you dirty, eat dirty when you are young. You grow old, you can deal with dirty. You know.
They're building immunity, like basically.
Yeah, so that's one of the things that I'm most concerned about. I've already like blocked out 2 weeks of leave for when she starts school.
Wise choice.
Yeah, it's gonna happen.
My friend, my colleague, her son started school, and then like I think within the first week, gonna hand foot and mouth. I think Becca also.
Yeah. Becca's first thing, not even a week in HFMD.
Yeah.
Boom, come back home straight away.
You know, that's an interesting thing actually. Alex has never gotten hand foot mouth disease.
You don't say now, bro. You say you jinxed it.
In Singapore,
like I was expecting it to happen. Like I know it's gonna happen eventually, but I'm actually surprised it's lasted this long.
Singapore actually takes the hand foot mouth very seriously.
Yeah.
So if there is declared case,
they close down the whole.
Yeah, and then they will sanitize the place.
And they check They check every morning.
Yeah, so that's the thing about Japan that is very interesting. Because in Singapore, I think sickness is can I ask in Singapore, when can you go back to school? After you've been sick.
When the mommy feels like she don't want the children.
So there's no guideline to like when you can send your kid back.
Oh, pre-COVID there is. Pre-COVID don't have, but post-COVID there is.
So post-COVID is no fever. Is that what it is?
At least in primary school, right? There is a guideline that you have to get doctor's certification to say that you are well in order for you to send back the kid.
So no. But I mean, what I mean is that if your kid has a fever, they obviously can't go back, right?
Yeah, correct.
So fever is fever the only thing that prevents them going back? So if they're like coughing and sneezing, it's okay to go back as long as they don't have fever?
I think a lot of them exercise discretion. So let's say you send the kid back and the guy is like coughing like crazy, they might just ask you to come and take your kid back home instead.
So okay, so it's more like a social, like you're taking care of your own.
Yeah. So I mean, to even get through the door, he's got to clear the temperature check first. So assuming you got no kid,
right, by the way,
like crazy, they might ask you to come and pick your kid up, I think.
Okay, and that's post-COVID, right? Before COVID, they didn't do temperature check, right? Lam.
So I just wanted to say something very softly so that my kid never hear, right? So if the kid just have to say, I'm not feeling well, I giddy, they have to send them back how you test giddy.
Oh my god.
Then he cannot like say, why you talking? Why got such thing?
You don't talking. You don't be. Okay, that's a different level. Right? That's a different level already. My kid not high enough to say I.
The choking is for you to say. So when the school calls to say, hey, your kid giddy, you're saying, hey, don't choking, just leave him there.
My kid very talking, but just leave him there.
That happened to my first child, actually, not really happened to her, but I mean, she just called and said that she coughing. Then the school just bring her to the care corner, then the school just ask her to come. Some of this is COVID, right? So she knows.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a different level. That's like more that's older already because she's at a kid. She can game the system, right? In a sense. She's like, I want to come home, game the system. Yeah, because I think Japan is kind of interesting because you can send your kid even if they're cough. Like today, Rebecca had a small cough and running nose, but they're like, fine, it's okay, just come. So I think it's a double-edged sword because if they say you can come, that means there are other kids who are coming also with runny nose and coughing. So
I mean, we all been to NS, right? Even when we are grown adults, if you go to NS, like I don't know whether you guys from BMT, like Tekong and all that, Tekong sure sick one. Because you mix a bunch of strangers together, right? Everybody different culture, different immune system, exposed to different things.
The difference is that Tekong, everyone wants to go to the medical center.
Yes.
There's a difference. My kid doesn't want to be sick. My kid wants to go to school. For now. I know your kid, you say your kid sometimes talking, but for maybe at this age, right? All your kids go there. Okay, so this will lead to another question later, but all Rebecca wants is to go to school. She loves school.
That's great.
It's like she plays with all the other friends and everything. I don't know whether it's true for most kids, but it's so much fun more in school because they can. Okay, so another question I want to ask, right? In nursery, do you know what they do in nursery? Like, do you know what the kids actually do?
I know what they do in the additional things that I pay for them. So nursery got optional programs, right?
No, I did not know this.
There's additional. So and the nurseries are quite smart one. They will I don't know the nursery or kindergarten. DLC pack, yeah.
DLC pack.
You can send your kids to go on, like it's okay. Then they will just sleep, Then like they will like
walao homo.
Yeah, they will ask you to sign the expansion pack. Then
and then your kids see other people play. They also want to play, right?
Yeah, exactly. So I know specifically on that part what they do lah. I mean, it's the enrichment course, phonics.
Wow.
What lah? If not,
okay. Okay. So, can I ask when you send your kid to school? Because I've never had experience sending my kid to nursery in Singapore. Only experience in Japan. So Japan is my main body of experience. In Japan, right, before you send them to school, they give you this like file where every morning you have to write what they eat for breakfast, what time they woke up. You have to write what did they eat for dinner the night before. No, let me explain first. Then they'll write everything, all these details down. And also, if you have any notes you want to tell them if they are sick or whatever, or you want them to do anything, you write there. And when they come back, right, they'll have a log of everything they did. Whether they finished their food, whether they pooped, when they peed, and then they'll have a kind of like a summary. Obviously, it's in Japanese, they were in Japanese, of like what they did, which I find very cool. Like I can kind of have like a brief summary of what she did that day. Whether she played with water, sometimes they built sand, they play with sand. These are things that she would never do at home, by the way. I wouldn't have played with sand because I have no sand. But I don't. Is that something?
Is it coarse and rough? And get everywhere?
Don't go there. Don't go there. Does this happen in Singapore, or is it just more like you send them, you pick them up, that's it?
You send them, you pick them up, that's it. But you sort of know what they're doing because on certain days, like if it's, for example, like if it's a certain day that's water play, you will know it's water play day because you have to pack your swimsuit into his bag. So, if like, and then they'll obviously bring back like whatever little art projects that they do in class. So you know they made something in class. Yeah. But you're talking about from a day to day, like, oh, I know exactly what it is. Like they're reading this particular. I mean, some of the schools will probably give updates, like maybe like they have a like on a month they have like a theme maybe or something, and then they're learning about this thing and then stuff like that. But if you're talking about very detailed, like exactly like they did A B C D E, no lah, don't have.
Okay. I mean, in Japan, they don't write ABCD, but like, for example, today, they wrote something which is like, Rebecca would, whenever they tried to clean her nose, because she's runny nose, right? She would say, no. And then they really wrote that in her thing, and then she said they also wrote that other kids followed her and said, no as well.
That's so cute.
So it's not necessarily a day-to-day, like, detailed summary of what happened. It's more like a highlight of what happened. But I think it's cool because, honestly, you remember the highlights more than just a lot of whatever just happened, right? But I'm just like curious whether this is a norm in Singapore as well of what happens.
Definitely.
And no. I have one last question before we move into. And Marv, if you have questions, you can add also. But regarding this nursery thing, right? In Singapore, what things do you have to prep and bring to school on a daily basis?
Usually one set of change.
Yep.
For full day one set of change, a snack, something for.
Oh, you pack a snack, okay.
Then like I think depending on, I'm not sure whether this is a COVID thing, but we have to pack his own bedding. So they have like mats for you to sleep on, but then you have to bring like your own little bed sheet. Because okay. I think this is a COVID requirement.
Maybe.
Yeah. Then yeah, then things like water bottle, that kind of stuff, lor.
Okay, so stuff on their backpack line. Lam, is it the same?
You're asking the wrong parent, so I only bring one thing, my wife.
I mean, that's a great person to bring, honestly. She knows everything.
Yeah, she will just pack everything and do everything, yeah.
The reason why I ask this is because I don't know, because Japan, right, you bring a heck of a lot of things. So in Japan, right, basically the nursery doesn't provide anything. You bring everything. So firstly, everything you bring has to be labeled. So, and when I say everything, right, I mean everything, including your diapers. So the nursery doesn't provide diapers. You bring your diapers. Sorry, what?
To label diapers.
I use a permanent marker just write on the diaper.
Rebecca. The stable, the
No. So you just write on your. So that literally every 2 weeks or so, Mary will take a whole bag of Mami Poco pens. Then she'll just sit at the table and just start writing Rebecca's name in katakana on every single piece of diaper. And then they have to bring three sets of washing towels for each meal and 3 sets of bibs for each meal.
What is washing towel? The hand towel, is it?
That's what they used to, after the meal they wash that, they wipe their hands after they wash. They need to do it for Can I use what?
Same one.
Don't ask me, man. I'm not the setter of the rules. This is just what the rules they told me. So 3. Then of course whatever they use in terms of clothes, you need to replenish. So they always have 3 sets of everything. Uwagi, which is the outerwear. Shitagi, which is the innerwear. Their underwear. Well, they're not underwear. Their pants you have to bring also, and it's long pants, short pants. Because it's got seasons, right? You have to bring also their they have a towel that they use to change their diapers on. So she lies on it. But lucky I paid for. Then also if you want, you have to bring their futon as well back and wash it. Futon, which is like a mattress basically. But for me, I'm too lazy, so I just paid for them to use their futon. So, but I mean, I'm just asking because I thought, to me, this is the norm.
Definitely
But I think in Singapore, because I think in Singapore because I think in Singapore, Hui Kun is nursery is run as a business. So to them, it's like I am the customer, you are the service provider. You should provide all these things. By Japan, Hui Kun is like a public service, public good. So in a sense, it's like you are requesting the help of the nursery rather than like employing them as a service.
You don't pay?
You do pay, but you pay the government.
How much do you
pay? Public.
A month?
So it depends on your tax. So it's all tax based. Everything in Japan, including your health insurance, is based on how much you earn. So, but I would say you pay a lot less. Like even the highest tax bracket, if you get into public nursery, you don't have to divulge your numbers, but I'll divulge the numbers. Because I am in the lowest tax bracket. I'm a missionary. I'm in the absolute lowest tax bracket. I pay $80 a month.
Jeebus.
But even if you're the highest tax bracket, I think the most you pay is still not even comparable to how much Singaporeans pay. I think the most you pay here is like $600 a month.
I'm paying 10.
But as Lam said, over here it's a business.
Yeah. So that's the difference, lah. I mean, I don't honestly once you get into the rhythm of like washing all their clothes, the moment they come back and like writing the things, it's not that bad in terms of the habit of like getting their clothes ready. Would you rather pay one tenth the price and then do everything?
That's true, but then it's a huge difference. Mary is paying 800 plus, and we are not even like it's not even like Montessori or something. It's not even that level.
Private.
It's just a Anglican preschool.
Yeah. So, but okay, I think it's not a good system also because I think our nursery teachers are quite underpaid. So I don't think it's a great. It's a good system for me now, but I don't think it's a great system at all. Okay. So
I have a side question for this, right? For you guys, do you think it's better to privatize nursery education or to provide it as a public service? I think this is an interesting topic to.
Okay, yeah, this goes into the other portion, and let's just go to that then, which is the idea of education, right? Because in Japan, nursery and kindergarten in my opinion, isn't viewed as part of the education system. And what I mean by that is that there's no requirement to teach syllabus. So like in Singapore, it's a totally different ballgame. When you enter primary 1, you're expected to know certain set of skills.
Correct.
If you don't know these things, you're in trouble. You tell already. Right? If you don't know basic like ABC. Addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, or ABC for sure lah. ABC if you go for you don't know ABC, something is wrong with you. But like basic like math, basic science, English, how grammar works. If you don't understand all these things, you're in trouble. But in Japan, basically from 0 to 6, right? There's no expectation on syllabi. Yeah. So I think this kind of ties into your question of do you think it should be privatized or not? Because in Japan it doesn't. It's a public good because it doesn't count as education to them. Yeah. What do you guys think?
I will say that I'm actually quite a fan of how the UK does it.
Which is?
So the UK, I'm not exactly sure whether it's considered to be privatized or government, but if I'm not wrong, in the UK, the syllabus across all nurseries and play schools are standardized. So you don't get that variance where you say some people just go to certain places. Then on the other ridiculous end of the spectrum, you've got things like Emilio, whatever it's called, or Montessori, where you get charged like a ridiculous amount. Like the syllabus, if I'm not wrong, is fixed across the large majority of UK nurseries and kindergartens. It's not as cheap. You still got to pay a fair bit because I think on some level it is still privatized lah. Like you pay teachers and all that kind of stuff. But it reduces that variance, and it gives everyone more of an even playing field. And their syllabus is not bad. Like the syllabus alone has already been catered. Like it inculcates elements of all of these kind of Montessori, like playing with
it's curated lah.
Like recycling like things to make toys, like all of this is already built into their system. So their system incorporates the things that we pay a premium for, right? And it's normal there, right? So I actually really like the way they do it. Because we did quite a bit of research in the UK, because we were, when we were there for a year, we were expecting Alex to come over. So we'd actually done quite a bit of research. We'd already picked out like a school that we were going to send him to for half a year, which obviously didn't pan out in the end, but we did do quite a lot of research there about how the syllabus are. So at that point, it's not even about syllabus anymore. You don't care about the syllabus. The syllabus is the same. So what you care about is how convenient is it to where you stay.
Cost.
Like, you like the environment, I suppose, because there are differences in the environment, and things like that. Yeah. So I think that system is actually quite good.
Yeah. So Singapore's the other end of the spectrum, like basically.
Singapore's the other end of the spectrum where you've got full
it's fully
market,
private.
Right?
You pay for what you get.
Choice, right? On the one end, you've got Odyssey, and then on the other end, you have the government subsidized daycare centers. So I mean, but that's very Singaporean, right? It's like just full market, like
capitalism at its finest.
Yeah.
So I think the dangerous thing about privatization is that it doesn't even the playing field is very vast, right? So if you can afford to pay, you already set your kid up for an advantage, right? And which is honestly a super Singaporean concept, right? That's what Singaporeans always try to do, right? Try to get their kids a leg up on competition, even at the age of 2, whatever, right? But I think Singapore is the extreme where you really pay for an advantage. Well, maybe Chris, what you say is kind of like a happy medium where you can pay more, but you're not paying for quality in terms of education. Although you may be paying more, but also that's also a variance because you may be paying more for the quality of teachers.
Yes. I mean, yes lah. I mean, I think the variance is in terms of quality of teachers also lower because they're all trained to a certain standard level. They're trained to deliver that syllabus. But I think where the variance really comes in is the grounds. Like, there are some places where because most of these are run out of houses or homes, or not homes, but like small bungalows in the UK, right? Like, which have been converted into use for. And obviously some are a bit more rundown. But then you go to see some that obviously have been renovated very recently, so they charge a bit more because, like, like they've got, like, it's beautiful. Like the grounds are beautiful, and then they have a back gate that opens up into some, into 5 hectares of like farmland that you can go and actually go and see nature walks. These are the things that you get there, right? Because they've got land. But so that's where the variance comes in. But I think because you're talking really just about physical space and less about the quality of the course.
The variance is lower lah.
Yeah, like it's not as bad. Or rather, you don't necessarily feel that you have to spend extra just to send him to that place where you probably end up choosing convenience over anything else. Pretty much.
Actually, your chat have a couple of comments. You all read the comments already just now. I was AFK.
I'm not on Twitter.
I'm not either.
Yeah, so my wife was saying that she feels that preschool should be less academic focused. Yeah, there's too much emphasis now on who has the greater age when we start primary school, which is what we were saying. I do agree. Like, they go to pre-primary school, and the emphasis is all about like who can learn more, who can like be smarter. When they go to primary school, then they kind of lose a bit of their childhood.
Even for Japan, like even when they enter primary school, they don't do exams, right? Until they hit like
a few years. I don't know. But I know that in Hoikuen now, and all the way up to Youqian, that means all the way up to K2 basically, their primary focus is learning through playing.
Yeah, no, because if I'm not wrong, I seem to recall that even in Japanese primary school, they don't encounter their first exam until
maybe
a couple of years later.
I wouldn't be surprised.
The first couple of years, they are taught things like social responsibility.
Yeah,
recycle. Like it's not even even in primary school, it's not that academic focus until they hit like a certain
Yeah.
and
I mean, the bad news is that it's all backloaded lah. So the stress, because Japan is still a very
the
robust
stress is
education
insane,
system, so the stress comes insanely hard, like in the middle school and high school, like it just whacks you in the face of it. And then they have their version of cram schools, right, which is our tuition lah. But theirs is like a norm, by the way. They call them literal cram schools.
Yeah, cram school is worse.
But I think in terms of like I like the idea that you allow your kid to have freedom to play when they are of a young age. Like you don't immediately start them on the stress ball, the stress death race that everybody's on so early. Yeah. So is that your experience now? Do you feel like Alexander's on that path right now?
I mean, I think not yet.
Okay.
I think it really comes in primary school.
Oh, okay.
I don't feel it yet. But then again, like you always, as a parent in Singapore, you always encounter talk from other parents who talk about things like they're already considering like what's the best kind of CCA to send their kids
Oh my
to get like
gosh.
direct school admissions.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Like these are things that people think about, years in advance. So I mean, this is Singapore, right? That's just what it is.
Yeah. Do you, Lam? Do you think for your kids, especially, like, because your kids are all, your oldest kid is what? Sec 4?
No lah, primary 6 lah.
Oh, your oldest is P6. So is P6 P4?
P6, P3, P3, because one of my kid is mild autistic, right? So he
Oh,
took 1
okay.
year. Yeah, then
Yeah.
my youngest one is primary 1. So all my children are in primary school now.
Oh, P6. Stress, man.
Yeah, so okay, tell us about the education in primary school. Because we go through it, but
I think if I won't say regret lah, but if there is one thing, so I don't regret because I send my children to Geylang Methodist, right? So dogs but I send my children to Geylang Methodist because I want them. Main thing is I want them to grow up in Christian faith because I've been through that path. That I think is a good path lah. And then I'm not sure whether they will be high flyers or not, but at least there is a secondary school that they can go into, which is they can go express, they can go to school already. So I think then whether they do well or not is really is see their own self lah. But if I were to if I was not to put Christian faith, that means let's say I let the church takes care of the Christian faith side, right? I would really, really put them in a good primary school because it makes a lot of difference for the primary school. Because the peers that you hang out, let's be real, right? The secondary school determines your life. At least for me, lah. I don't know about you guys, but my lifelong friends are from secondary school. The cliques I hang out with, and then there's always this saying that the 5 people that you hang out with or they are closest with determines whether, like, what do you do, right? Your outlook in life, your motivation and stuff like that. I'm very sure you guys have heard of this before. Yep. So my friends a lot of my friends now are not doing bad, but they're all salespeople. So my cliques are all the salespeople. All the salespeople.
Night shift for this.
Yeah. So similar type. So but I don't know, sadly or what, the passing rate to go to express for my school, the Geylang Methodist, is only 55%. And that's very bad. 55% of the entire cohort goes to express. So if I were to put them in another school, I'll put them into a better school because there is no qualification to go into a primary school. Like you just have to go into the primary school. Like it's like not luck based lah, but if you volunteer or you just have to put in the additional effort for you to go into the primary school, and then that will determine your trajectory to the secondary school.
Yeah.
I mean,
well, it's kind of privatized as well. People move house to put in primary school, right?
Yeah lah. I mean, like what? I mean, Jamie also says something very, very true, right? I would think that better schools have better. I might be wrong, right? But I feel that better schools will have better children to teacher ratio, and that sort of makes a difference between like the level of education or the quality of education that a student can have because more attention can be spent on the student So.
So maybe just before we go, like, talk about this, do you have so you mentioned about your Christian faith and everything, but do you have an approach to your kids' education in a sense like do you know like our parents they have I don't know about your parents but you know some I guess in the older parents generation they like want our kids they want us to succeed because you know they went through poverty or some difficult times and they don't want us to face the same thing. So for them the idea that you must obtain a profession that is materially comfortable provide a comfortable life is of paramount importance. I don't care what you like. I don't care what your hobby is. I don't care what your passion is. I just want you to study well, do well.
Big bucks.
Earn big bucks. If you can be a doctor, good. Because to them, not because they think a doctor is a noble profession, but because to them, doctor is money.
It's a noble profession also.
No, it is. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that a lot of people of the old generation wanted, your kids to be doctors, lawyers, and engineers because to them, profession equals to material comfort.
Understand.
So my question to you guys is: do you guys already have like an idea to how your approach to your kids' education? And is it shaped by the education system in any way?
Let the rest go first. One of you all.
Yeah, sure.
Like I've always said, Meredith cannot date until she become a con. No, but I'm just kidding.
What?
As in a con consultant.
Wow.
Wow.
No lah, I'm kidding. But as in I do see the value of having a doctor in your family. I'm sure Chris will can agree. As in not the financial part, but having a doctor in your family kind of like gives you certain connections to help you when your own family has issues. Like they can even help you like bump up your dates and all that. Yeah, I mean it's kind of illegal, I guess, but it's happened before lah. Because my family, my family, I mean you guys know, there are quite a few doctors lah. So we have gone through the back door before when we needed help lah. But yeah, as in, I think very typical for me, very typical like Asian family. I would love Meredith to become a doctor. That'd be great. But she doesn't have to become a doctor. She can choose anything she wants. Yeah. I mean, I did the route where my mom was like, "Huh,
what are you doing?
Can earn money or not?" Like that was her first concern. Like, what's the there's a Hokkien for it. Something 价 摊价 something like that. Right?
摊价位.
Correct, 摊价位. Because I did psychology. I did a Bachelor of Arts. Then my mom's like, psychology. What are you gonna work as next time? Yeah. But yeah, so I went through this road, and even Geraldine also had her struggles because she chose occupational therapy, right? Which is not a very, I mean, when we were younger, it's not a very well known or established field that our parents would be familiar with. So we struggled through that whole phase of, getting our parents to understand what the hell we're doing, and that to reassure them that we will be working and taking care of you in the future. Totally so I think it helped to like it translated to my stance is that Meredith can be whatever she wants as long as it's not illegal. She want to be a streamer also can. Streamer now make a lot of money.
So I'll be a bit not cynical. Does that come from a position of privilege though?
I don't think we are considered a privileged family though. I would say we are middle class. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Because like Singapore, they will say like, oh, this is the, what do they say? This is a median. Is it median?
Yeah, median.
Salary range, right? And
10K.
Shirley and I, we are like borderline median, so we are not like privileged. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know. Maybe because my kid is a female. It's a girl. Maybe it was a boy. I'll be like, you better go and earn big bucks. Yeah. I don't know.
So your point is, when you marry into a person who
as in for me, it's like if she finds a partner that takes care of her, that's great. But she most importantly, she must love what she's doing. Yeah.
Okay. So that's important as well. For you, so in that sense, if Meredith chases the profession that she's not happy in, would you tell her, but earns big bucks, would you tell her to reconsider?
I would want her to do something that she's happy, because I don't want her to force herself to do something just because society says that this is what earns the most money, and then like flame out in like a few years.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mm. Yeah. Chris, do you have one for?
Mm, I don't think I have any specific things that I would want Alex to be. Like, it's just one of those things, though. Like, I think it's very different because our parents, coming from our parents' generation, like, based on what they grew up with, like, their
Mm.
focus is about, you know, uh, about earning power and all that kind of stuff. So I think that's very
Mm.
understandable. But the concerns of our generation is slightly different because we are sort of building off the work that our parents put in,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
So I think from my perspective, my job is to earn enough now and to put my children in uh, a comfortable enough place that they can do whatever it is they want,
Mm.
basically. And another reason why I don't think it is necessary to have an idea of what I want him to become is because honestly, I think I won't have any idea what
Mm.
options are even available in 20 years. Like, who would have thought that you know streaming video games online could earn you 7 figures a year? I
Mm.
mean, I don't think a lot of people saw that coming. So who knows what the equivalent of that will be
Yep.
in
Yep.
20 years?
Yep.
Yep.
I have no idea. So I could guess at the usual answer now and go and do one of those like the main professional degrees. But I don't know. I don't think that's necessarily the way going forward.
Mm.
Like a lot of people now are sending their kids to do things like robotics. To try to get like
Yeah.
BA
Programming and
robotics
stuff.
and
Yep.
stuff. But is that even necessarily the right move? Because I think technology is moving past that. Like
Yep.
by the time our kids grow up, robotics will be old school. Like
Yep.
they need to be searching for what the next thing is. And honestly, I have no idea what it is. So
Mm.
I don't know. I think that's just a conversation that you need to continue to have with your kids at every stage
Mm.
of their
Yeah.
stage of their life.
Life.
But Alex knows that he wants to be a bus driver, so he's set.
Settled then.
Make sure he gets enough sleep, by the way. If not, he end up in court.
No, like the one I told him, the one you want to be, you at least Minister of Transport things.
Yeah. Wow. 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 Yeah, but I mean, I hear what you say, but I think also, I think maybe it's in all of us, and maybe it's a parental thing. It's not necessarily even a Singaporean thing, but we want our kids to be able to take care of themselves, right?
Mm.
So
Yeah.
regardless of, we want them to, like, we know the pain of seeing up, like, maybe it's too far to say we know the pain of being poor, but like it's more like we know that it can be horrible to not be able to provide for yourself, and we want our kids to not be in that position, especially when we can provide the best environment for them to thrive, to not be in that position. Yeah, Lam, do you have anything to add?
So I just had this conversation with my eldest daughter, like just before
Wow.
the stream. Not because
Wow.
I read this, but I because she's very into arts, right? So she draws
Yeah.
quite well. And then she's in the choir, so I guess she sings quite well also lah. I mean, not that because I'm the father, right? But I think she sings quite well and she draw. I mean, her drawing legit, I think is okay lah. But I told her this lah. I told her, like at the end of the day, these are still passions. You have to find things. I mean, I'm more practical lah. I told her say you have to find things that make money one. Like you have to do things that make money. If you want to do the passion thing, do your passion thing like after you make the money. So that and then I told her exactly the same thing. I told her say if you like to draw thing, then you got a lot of money already. Then you draw, you're not happy, you ask people draw for you, It's not technically the same thing, but I told her passion can be I mean, for me, I feel that passion can be secondary to the ability to provide. Like, maybe because she's the eldest daughter, and I expect that next time she takes care of my son as well. So
Mm.
there's some pressure involved. I say,
Yeah.
Papa and Mommy not going to be around forever, and then you are the big chacha. You need to take care of everybody. So there's some
Mm.
pressure involved in that.
Wow.
There's practicality in that as well.
Yeah.
You
Yeah. Yeah. I think in all of us, Singapore. I think that we can all agree that the Singapore system, whether it's education and like both education and the work environment, is very ruthlessly practical,
Mm.
right? You have to have practical skills that, as in the practical skills translate to money,
Mm.
right? And I wish it wasn't the case because actually once like Chris lives outside of. I mean, for some of us who have lived outside of Singapore, that's not true for in a lot of other countries as well. Right? There are certain countries where the job variance and the pay variance is not very high, even across jobs. Right? So it's just particularly in Singapore the variance is high. And I think for me, I mean, as a missionary, obviously my faith is important. So to me, like Lam can relate more to this as well. Like for me, I want my daughter's character is the most important thing. But at the same time, maybe my daughter is too young for me to have these thoughts of for them thinking of like for me to think of like, oh, you need to learn how to provide for yourself in the future as well. Yeah. So I'm not too sure. Maybe for me, it's just an ignorant thing where obviously if she can find a passion that can pay well, that's the dream.
Yeah.
That's the dream, right? But we all know that is not possible. Not possible. Yeah. Not possible most of the time. So, but I think in terms of the Singapore system, I mean we all grew up as products of the Singapore system.
Yeah.
I wish things would change because I think it's a bit too ruthless. Even now, amidst all the changes, where it's very you have to. It's kind of like force yourself into a system lah. Where if you are very poor at certain things, you will not make it to the system.
Actually, I got one thing want to give advice to. I mean, all the listeners and all the dads here. When you give advice for career for your children, have to differentiate between a renting career versus a buying career. What I mean by this is there are certain professions that pay very well, but you are just renting the income only. That means the income comes as far as it goes on. Like it can be easy come, easy go, especially like streamers or whatever, right? You can be very or esports. The career lifespan is very, very short one. You are basically just renting income only. But if let's say you go to a profession, right? As you grow, you might start out very low. Never mind one, it's okay one. Don't worry about it. As you grow along, people will drop out of the profession. As you gain more experience, you will come to a point where you long, and you still earn more, if not more than other people. And it's the granting part that is the very tough. A lot of people don't understand this fact, So really have to go into them. Doesn't mean that low starting pay means that it's a shitty job one.
Well, this turned to a very deep conversation all of a sudden. We started with Cheong fan, and then we ended up. So I'm still reeling from the fact, by the way, that you still Cheong fan. Okay. We've actually talked quite a lot. We've like crossed the 2 hour mark. Honestly, I think this is the episode. We've only, by the way, I had 5 different topics. We only talked about 2. So, but I think we're going to close it off pretty soon. Do you guys have like anything you wanted to add in terms of like education or like your kids in general regarding Singapore system, or just words of advice you want to give to other people like what Lam did? Yeah. No, we just end off on.
No, I give you all
another
topic. So no. So I maybe you all can share what I mean. Maybe your podcasters or your listeners has really heard this before, right? But what do you aim to achieve? What is your objective of doing this? That will
this podcast.
Yeah. So now you have done 20 episodes of this already, right? 20, right?
Wow! Now he's giving us some self-reflection. Yo.
Yeah. It's a good time to
discussion already.
Yeah.
Wow! Now it's our guest challenging us. Yeah, go ahead.
You say your 30th anniversary.
No, it's our 20th.
Yeah, it's the 20th episode.
20th, yeah.
So when is the first year anniversary coming?
It's over already.
Over already, I think.
Yeah.
Okay, then you miss your chance, really. Time for self-reflection.
I think we started this also because Ian and I just wanted to talk about games and being new dads, but it kind of evolved into something to keep us connected also with Ian.
Yeah.
Because Ian is don't know how many thousand kilometers away from us, right?
Yeah.
So I mean we don't really meet up that often in real life. But now that he's out of the country, there's no way for us to meet up in real life. So to me, it was a way to keep myself connected to him. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. I mean obviously the base of it is the same. I wanted to we just enjoy talking, right, of stuff. And I think when you're also in a platform of a podcast, you kind of force yourself to not say stay on topic, but you force yourself to talk about certain things which you may not have the same in terms of like just in your WhatsApp group, for example.
Yep.
And I feel we had more to say in our groups, but we didn't have the chance to. But I think it's opportunities like this also where you talk to like people like you, Lam and Chris, where you get to talk about ridiculously stupid topics like Singaporean food. But also have deeper conversations about education and your kids, which I enjoy. I think for me, I know we say this all the time, that we don't expect to be big podcasters. We don't expect to have a following. We don't expect to have like 1,000 subscribers or like more. I mean, 1,000 sounds so little, right? When you have kids, when you have people have like 1,000,000 subscribers. But I would love to see people who love to listen to our content just because it helps them. Right? It's like an interesting topic for them. They enjoy listening. Because I listen to. I don't know about you. Do you guys listen to podcasts? You do, right?
Yep.
Some of you. So I love listening to podcasts, and I genuinely enjoy podcasts, not just because of the content, but because I like the people that I'm listening to. I find their personalities engaging, and I hope that people can find the same in this podcast as well. Yeah, and in the personalities that we bring out.
Okay.
Yeah. So thank you for that soul searching. Now we need to do another one. Episode 21, Steam Deck / Soul Reflection.
Soul searching.
Soul searching. Think about what we're gonna do next. But yeah, thank you so much for coming, guys. I think this has, honestly speaking, this has been the fastest 2 hours I've done on this podcast so far.
Yeah.
It
besides
is
the
so
talk
fast.
of Cheong Fan.
Hey, hello.
Bro, this is gonna live with you for a long time. We're gonna tell the guys group that we're gonna ask them what their top 5 is.
It's
And
gonna last as long
you,
as Ian's choose Galahorn.
longer. This is more egregious than Galahorn. Yeah, at least Galahorn mistake. This is a choice.
I'm gonna post the top 5 thing, the chart.
Yeah, and see what people say, man. Yeah. So anyway, thank you guys for coming. It's been really fun to have you guys. And for those of you who don't know, continue to subscribe to our wherever and follow us wherever you can in Instagram, Facebook,
Twitch, Instagram,
Twitch.
Facebook, YouTube.
Yeah.
Yep.
So those of you who listen to us on a consistent basis, thank you. We'll see you guys next time on the Two Gamer Dad podcast. Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Bye.